Ooh, what is up, buds? Welcome to WeeDnD, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClenahan, but my buds call me Bam. Thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight. We are absolutely pumped. We got all kinds of fun things in the works right now. Huge shout out to our friends over at Blackwater D&D. They have invited me over tomorrow night over on the Blackwater D&D channel. Absolutely give them a follow if you're not already, but definitely be there tomorrow night. We are going to be doing a DM roundtable game. So there will be a lot of forever DMs, a couple of just your standard class DM, and we're all going to rotate dungeon mastering the same game based on a few conditions. Like rolling a 1, we would switch DMs and it'll rotate around the table. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of the DMs that are there are like really like DMs I respect a lot. And so it's like, it's not only going to be a fun idea, I actually think it's going to be really fucking awesome. So come hang with us over there tomorrow night, Blackwater D&D. Give them a follow. Seriously, just a bunch of amazing human beings who have been super supportive of what we've been doing all along, and we love them, man. They're like genuinely like really good friends. Like now we've known them for a year, so it's like, man, we go way back. Kind of a pretty big cool thing this week. The NPR people had done a little interview with me about the show and the studio and a little bit about what we're going on, and then they sent a photographer out. He did this really awesome epic D&D picture, and they put an article out, man, about our little project and what we're doing here. This thing kind of some of our new people that are just joining us, like you missed the pitch in the beginning, but it's important to us to showcase a bunch of passionate, motivated, successful individuals who use cannabis. We are all unapologetically cannabis users. It is my great joy to be able to present this in the way that we do. We are far more for cannabis normalization than trying to necessarily get any of you to smoke weed or anything. It has nothing to do with any of that. I just wanted to show people that, hey, like this is how we play, and I don't see any fault in it. And honestly, I think the show kind of speaks for itself. And the article was kind of a huge thing. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, we do have it over on the Discord, and we've shared it on the various socials. But you can also just look up like NPR Weed&d, and it should pop up pretty easy. It's a great article, man. Honestly, I'm touched. It's like we just got past a year mark, and like this kind of thing, it was a bit like when you get nominated for some award or something. It just made me reminisce on just how many people have put so much incredible work into this project, far beyond just me, far beyond my incredible cast. But there is like a team of artists that work very passionately on this project, and I'm telling you now, we have our eyes set on far distant horizons, and we're going to keep bringing you wild, crazy shit every week, and it's just going to get bigger and better. Thank you so much to every single person who has helped us with this show, be it sharing or liking or going over to YouTube, youtube.com/ArtHeartStudios, following us there, sharing the vids around. Specifically people, man, who like have thrown, through payments of subscriptions and tips and all that stuff. That all goes into us building this thing to the way we see that it can be done. And let me tell you, I know the secrets, guys. If you like this, we are just going to be blowing your brains away in a few short months' time. So thank you guys so much. I'm getting all emotional again. So we're going to move on. And the best thing about Weed&d, if you ask me, is the incredible cast. And it is my great joy to play with these 5 of my dearest friends in real life. Play with them each and every week. And so it is my great joy now to take this joint, pass it through the magical fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna. Hey, Brenna. How you doing, girl?
Ooh, I'm doing great, Bam. Hi, Brenna Folger, also known as Prince Brunor, the Serpent Slayer. And my favorite starter Pokemon is Squirtle. So, Abby, who's your favorite starter Pokemon?
Oh man, that's a great question. There's the one, right? I think Charmander is a cutie pie, right? Okay, yeah. I was playing Barbie Horse Adventures. I'm sorry. But hey, what's up, friends? Abby Dandy, aka Tynna Smoothhands around these parts. I might not be too well versed in the Pokemans, but I'm well versed in loving all of you buds. Oh, what do you got for me, Drew? Save me.
Oh, thanks, baby girl. What up, y'all? Drew, Thoricus, Mountain Dwarf Extraordinaire. shorty and almost 40. My favorite starter Pokemon. God, that's a real difficult question. Many of you might know this. I'm an avid Pokemon player, so that's tough for me. But I like probably. Yeah, God, that's just too tough for me to answer. I love them all so much.
It's like choosing between children, like your own
Right.
children. Yeah, I get it. I
know.
know. That's why I just kind of, whatever came to me first, I think is what spoke to me. You know?
Pokemon's
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Too much. It's just too much. Anyway, so glad you guys are here with us. I'll choose a starter Pokemon eventually. Or I'll just, wonder trade the shit out of them until I get all the starter Pokemon. Then I don't have to fucking care. Because I have them all. If you want my friend code, let me know. I'll wonder trade you some awesome shit. Anyway, best friend, I'm going to airdrop this to you. Come on in.
Ooh. Arrives like that every time.
Man.
Every time. Boy. Best friend. What's up, buds? Jake Taylor here once again as Real Akravan, the level 9 High Elf Arcane Trickster Rogue. Starter Pokemon. It's a tough question. Like, in all fairness, it is tough. But first that comes to mind, I like Charmander. If you go a little further down, Cyndaquil's a dope looking little cutie. The fire ones, the fire ones are all.
They can
I
help
like
you
their
smoke your
design
weed.
very much. Yeah, exactly. Tail right there. But if we're counting Let's Go, like the remake of Red and Blue, Eevee's a starter, and due to Vaporeal, I kind of like the cut of Eevee's jib. So, yeah, catch them all, love them all. Love all you. Gus, what you got for me?
Oh, appreciate that, Jake. What's up? I'm your boy Gus Two Blunts Langley, playing Divot, the resident revenant bard warlock. I didn't really play a lot of Pokemon, so I'm probably gonna go with Kirby. I feel solid about that. He's wicked good in Smash Brothers. I'm happy about it. I gotta throw a special shout out to one of my boys, one of the buds, Richard, dropped off a sick bag of holding. We put it right to work. Appreciate you, man. Sending it back to you, Bam.
Oh. Oh my gosh. It made it back. My favorite starter Pokemon is Squirtle. And since nobody else said that, she's always stealing my answers. She's always stealing my Breechies, Squirtle. But yeah, no, it's Squirtle, bro. Because, like, come on. Look at him. He's freaking adorable.
Game, though. That's all it is. Game respect game.
Game respect game. Game respect game.
The sunglasses, right? That's the one with the sunglasses?
Yes, he's cool.
So dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad none of us chose Venusaur. So that was, or Bulbasaur. That was, so I've never been more proud of my friends and their answers than the fact, I think Abby was right with like Barbie Force Adventures is better than saying Bulbasaur is your favorite starting Pokemon. Kirby, also somehow more correct than saying Bulbasaur is your favorite Pokemon. So if Bulbasaur is your favorite Pokemon, get out. I don't want you here. I'm fine alienating my audience. Go. All right, I'm sorry. I don't know. We could talk about how much I hate Bulbasaur a little more, but we won't. In order to kick this show off, we got a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a little lighter, like this one right here, that doesn't have fucking Bulbasaur on it. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or Squirtles or Charmanders. If you're lighting a Bulbasaur on fire, it's fine. And go. Lighters up. They're also weak against fire, so fuck Bulbasaur. Let's play some fucking D&D.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
All right, guys. Ooh, I'm pumped. This shit's gonna be crazy. If you will please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood before Aeromastus, the twisted overseer of the den of the Dragon Zulithax. After having appeased the statue of the kobold god Kurtulmak with an offering of a large amount of gold, they were able to converse with the trickster god and broker of secrets. He offered them a trade, access to powerful secrets in exchange for a core memory. It was Divot who first stepped up, offering his memory of Martha Goutshire, who fell at the hands of Ergon. Then Rial, who offered a painful memory of his father, but with it lost all memory of his mother. Brian, too, received knowledge of a shocking truth, but was unable to communicate it clearly. Now, the five were then allowed to pass beyond the magical barrier into the den below, where they met the cursed Aromastis, who revealed that it was the Druids, led by Achaeus, who had taken the powerful Malevolite stone and slaughtered the dragons within. Achaeus, however, did not act alone, and it was revealed that it was in fact Queen Mab's sister, Titania, the Queen of the Summer Court, who seems to be working with Achaeus to rewrite the rules of the Plains. The five now must decide if they wish to leave with what was theirs by right, the treasure of Harnax, or delve deeper into the Den of Dragons and face the trials of Zulithax for untold treasures of tremendous value. All right, guys, we jump back in. You're all standing in the sunken, shadowy chamber of the once magnificent den of Zulithax. The floor plates that you stand on show signs of gilded gold leafing and ancient, delicate tapestries that are now just torn asunder at your feet. The whole place looks like it's aged thousands of years since the last time someone was here. These strange yellow candles burn at your feet. You've now seen them burn even when covered with tar. They illuminate a strange, faint yellow light on your surroundings. You see the walls of the cave, all strung with these small black veins that seems to leech the life out of the stone and the ground around it. In front of you, a tall pedestal, standing maybe 5 feet tall, a giant stone with a book made of flayed skin open, and the hunching form of Aromastis, the now Bodak, guardian of this den of dragons. He's still bent. It hurt him gravely to tell you the information that he did, to tell you the ultimate truth that it was in fact Titania working with Achaeus, not his sister, Queen Mab. You see him hunched over, his big shadowy wispy form that just kind of moves around like a cloud behind the central face. The face contorted, like the screen painting, with these big, deep, sunken black eyes that appear to go on forever, like a soulless pit of doom that rests just behind the hollow pits of his stretched skinned face. His gray and white crackled skin tears and peels at certain places. His long mouth draws all the way down to about 18 inches long. You hear him, like breathing in agony from the pain that he just endured, peeling to the next page of this strange skin-flayed book in front of him. You hear the looking to your south, you see that giant black heart still filled and pumping out this black liquid that runs like a river all around, seemingly all these tendrils reaching out and leeching life from whatever they can touch. The black oil and tar seemingly sourced from this massive, 50, 80 foot tall skeleton head that rests in the northeast corner of the room. The tar spills out of the eyes, out of the hollow nose bone, out of the sharp, pointed white bone teeth. You see cracks of black dripping all around them. The feeling of the room around you, that hovering memory of Achaeus still in the air. The 12 druids, the death of these dragons, seeming like an ancient memory, but could have only happened within the time frame from the last time that you saw Achaeus. Aromastis hunches over on the book. What will you do now that you know the truth? You see kind of just like his great cloud form kind of rests upon the book, almost as if he's holding the energy and the vaporeal form of his body up on top of the slab, the yellow light illuminating both his face and the skeleton head behind it. What do?
Brunor puts her hand on her sword and she says out loud, Sir Curie works for that other queen, right?
You see the head kind of nod, like he's not really strong enough to give you the answer you seek right now, but he nods at you. He seems to.
Well, that's really curious, because we've had a run-in with him before, and Whose side are we supposed to be on? Are we the bad guys? Shit!
Yes.
No, Divot.
Excited with the idea of being the bad guy.
Of course I get it, but
Yo, this Bodak is very engaging, but I can't stop looking at this giant fucking skull, because it is handsome.
No, yeah, like you mentioned, Divot. You specifically, there's something about this. Typically death is something you're familiar with now, especially as you've continued to grow this acorn of the power of death within you. Based on your dark bargain that you have. Remember, just recently learning that contract has a timeline on it. You look beyond him and you see this skull is, you've heard of giants, but a skull of this size is larger than any creature you have ever seen to this point in any of your lives. Perhaps hearing of legends of a creature this large, but it just sits there with this hollow void, a torpid cry of chaos kind of eeps out of every crevice of this skull. Divot, you feel death from within there, but not the natural order of death, like the power of anti-life. Not quite the delicate balance of death that death and life sit on the same scale. The anti-life, the anti-material plane, if you will, seems to call. It's like a different kind of death that you're not as familiar with. And so yes, as you look, and this giant skeleton has these large rivers of this black tar just jetting out of its eyes, nose, and mouth. You want to try speak with dead?
Yeah, man. Okay, so I look at Bruno and I'm like, the Bodak. I know this thing is a Bodak, right? But well, whatever. I know his name is Arome. All right. So I'm like, he may not have the answers that you seek, but perhaps that beautiful skull does. And cast Speak with the Dead.
Dope. All right. So, Divot, you notice as you start casting the spell, you see Aromastis, like a little shadow hand starts to reach toward you. And then out of that shadow hand, you see like the illusionary image of an elven hand. And so, if you'll recall in the memory, you had seen Aromastis before his transformation. He was a bit of an elven noble. And so you see his kind of like hand reaches out to you as you cast the spell. And when you speak the words to speak with the skull, you hear as your words kind of echo in the chamber. What do you say to him?
Well, we have a lot of pressing business, but first I must know, what are you?
You see the giant skull as the powerful magic that you've casted kind of starts caressing the cracks in this broken skull head. Finally, you hear a great as if the wall itself started shaking. And you hear this horrible, just like gasping for air. And you watch this giant flood of black ichor just kind of wave out of his throat, splashing at the feet of the shadowy form of Aromastis. Like it was a blockage in the throat of this thing that it had to spit out before it could talk to you. You feel the cavern walls shake as the great ancient jawbones that haven't moved in some great time. You hear the bones crackling, grinding as the mouth attempts to move.
I am a being beyond your world.
You see that the mouth doesn't move quite to match the words coming out of it, but there is like a slight movement to the jawbone. The eyes continue bleeding the river of black into the river that now flows all the way through the cavern that you stand in. You see one of the tendrils sucking up a little of the black liquid.
What was his name? What was his name?
Dramatic. I like it.
Yes.
You may call me Kaisintius.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what's with the attitude. I'm like, it was a simple question, bro.
He just has a flair for the dramatic. I like it.
Well, fuck you, dude. Like,
Okay, can
how
we
do
count Thoricus saying what's with the attitude as one of the questions?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You see the magic of, like you have 5 questions to ask. You see that it's like Thoricus just kind of like grumbling in the back. You watch as his words materialize into like a color. And then they flash, they go into the mouth of the skull. You feel the rumbling once more. And he's like,
I am more powerful than any creature you could imagine, dwarf man. Chrysintius has drank the souls of thousands. If I had my body, I would add 5 more to that number.
Wait, I didn't even do anything to you.
That's probably
That's so
why he's
crazy.
dead. 'Cause he's so powerful.
Too bad you don't have that body though. So
Oh, Real!
Wow. Is that a
All right,
burn?
you know what? Fuck it. I pile on too. Like we're roasting this giant.
Is that his heart? With his heart? Does he have anything to do with that heart? Is that his? Whose heart is that? What's that heart about?
All right. Yeah. Next question is that your heart out of your body over there?
You hear him growling. You get this sense, Divot. You're kind of an expert in pissing people off. You get the sense that it's like he doesn't have a body, but he's like trying to punch you. You just hear like, and just a little bit of black ichor kind of pops out of him, and you can tell he doesn't have access to whatever great power source that he did, and he is now this withered skull, set in this strange den of dragons. You see, he looks. The skull turns. You hear the great grinding of stone as the bone grinds against it. Little trickling rocks fall down into the tarry pools around. You hear him landing. He turns and looks.
The dark heart of the mountain does not belong to me. But without it, I would not be here.
He's so powerful.
It is the portal, the gateway to my realm. Come for a visit, if you will, noble adventurers.
You see as he laughs, little waves of the black liquid flow and pulse out of his eye sockets. That's 3 questions.
We have like stuff to do.
Yeah. I look at Tynna and Real, and I'm just like,
yeah, kind of an ass.
Yeah.
he's kind of a
You see his
dick.
feelings are hurt.
Right.
Oh, God, he's like, I
Rude,
get it.
guys.
I'm a big skeleton, but God, I'm right here.
Still a beautiful skull. I agree there,
Yeah.
but man,
It's got some
no
wicked
beauty
insides.
on the
Rude.
inside.
Rude.
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
Okay.
Drew.
All right. I will ask him this because I do respect his disposition. Are you pained by being here?
I feel pain in every fiber of my body that ever was. The gateway between our worlds, once impossible, now exists through my suffering.
And you see like the chattering of the bones. You hear the mouth just kind of like shaking in the wall. Yes, Divot, it does appear that he is in a pretty grave amount of pain.
Well, that
And
explains
tell-
why he's got such a bad attitude, guys. I feel like we
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
be patient with
yeah.
him. You
I think
know?
it's just an
You're right.
excuse.
Then tell us how to stop it.
Chronic pain is a real problem. All right.
Divot, can you phrase that as a question?
I'm
Then
almost
tell us how
200
to
years
stop
old.
it.
This is D&D.
Tell me all about it. Stuff.
How do we stop your pain?
What is? Tell us how to stop.
Oh, man.
To close my portal, to kill the black heart of the mountain, you must slay the gatekeeper.
And then you kind of feel this like overwhelming sense of like the wind in the cavern all kind of wraps. And you now kind of like Divot your understanding of like these great balances. You see what's actually happening to Aeromastus. Somehow, Aeromastus's power and life force, some of great power, you would guess perhaps by his connection to the Malevolite, has made him now the anchor of this portal. If you can believe Chrysintius, he is not required to tell you the truth, but he is saying that basically through him is a portal directly to the Shadowfell. And so Aeromastus has now been basically cursed with being like the figure that makes this gateway possible. You don't necessarily know, how that all correlates in that moment or what greater that could mean. But you do kind of you see now how the form of this strange, elven hand, the illusionary high elf hand that's kind of reaching out for you, almost asking for your help as the strange shadowy wisp goes around and you see the hollow eyes of the Bodak. You hear Aramastus breathe.
Yes, it is I that you must destroy. But I cannot let you.
And you see the hand disappears into the shadowy form of the Bodak. It starts shaking, but that's it. You just notice the swell of this magic, as if there's some kind of internal battle going on within.
Whoa.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Neato. That's
Is
quite
this
simple.
I realized that the last thing that the skeleton said, started some shit, and I stopped the spell. Even though he, I can't ask him any more questions, I'm like, shut your mouth.
Yeah, Divot, you see is, that writhing form of Aramastus, the shadows kind of, almost like the top of a wavy water, now no longer this wispy form of smoke, but battering blasts of shadowy that just kind of are popping on all directions around his form. You hear Aramastus, breathing for air. And as you hold your hand up and you see the purple light illuminate on your hand as you cast the magic off, almost peeling the magic away from this giant skull, and it returns to its position. The black river continues flowing at the steady rate. You hear the pumping sludge of the hard to your south. And yeah, you see it, the chaos of Aramastus' shape does calm down a little bit by that person, that being, that entity not being here. So casting it away did help in this, whatever is going on with Aramastus right now. You see he's still kind of writhing around, but not nearly as violent now that the spirit of this Caesintius is now gone.
As this all simmers down, I'll point at Aramastus and look at everyone like, is this a now problem or a later problem?
Everybody make me a perception check. This is outside of your passive. You're all on high alert right now. And it's if you roll dice, I have a greater chance of smoking more weed. All five of you will roll.
Kids.
No!
Yeah! Ooh, crit shit. Shit crit.
Oh, yikes.
See? Aren't we glad we rolled some perception? We have, for our new guys here, we have a little ritual. We do take hits on crits, and that includes 20s and 1s. This is a shit crit. This is the sad one.
Wow.
I mean, as sad as you could be when you're taking a nice tasty taste.
I love the new sound cue you have for it too.
Sandy, man, he's so good. The huge, again, we always shout him out, but it's only because he does so much for us. All of the original music you hear in the show is done by one man for this show. His name's Sandy Stein, and he is just the most incredible human being. And yeah, it's all the amazing sound effects that you hear, all of our theme song, all of the music in the show. That's all from one guy, man. He is.
I was gonna say, well, Munge did the.
And yes, Munge did in the first episode of the song, the song of the five, the Ferocious Five. Yes, so I mean, we're super blessed to have our own music made by such a genius. So I couldn't help but shout that out. And he does all of that fantastic. Let's hear it again, actually.
Whoa, shit.
Dope. I'm gonna hit it again. Why not?
I was gonna say it's very Pavlovian. I feel like I need to look
That's right, yeah. Now every time I hear, anytime I see Sandy, I'll be like, shit. All right, so unfortunately our rolls, I don't want to say unfortunately. So this is how this plays out. As you guys are watching, Brunor, you're kind of watching as again, it's more of an ocean shape. It's like waves of shadowy energy. And there's something about it that just kind of catches your eye. And you're remembering the great waves of the ocean. And again, this kind of element of dread in the area. It's much like when you were near the Mirkwood or the Accursed Church, where those things that are easily put into the back of your mind to dwell upon when you're by yourself by a fire start coming to the forefront. And so these dark, shadowy, ocean-like waves of smoke on the back of Aramastus remind you of your ocean kingdom of Elmira. And again, because of the kind of creeping nature of this place around you, those ideas get through a little stronger than they normally would. Tynna, you as well, as you look into this whirling mass of darkness, and Divot beside you, both of you start seeing this strange conflict of a light creature trapped within this whirling mask of shadow, and standing as brother and sister, nearly shoulder to shoulder in this moment. You can't help but kind of look at each other and realize that, if we drew a big shadow around the two of you, it wouldn't be too much different. And so it kind of distracts you in this moment. Again, the creeping crud of this Shadowfell energy kind of lets you dwell on some darker thoughts. I'm sorry, Divot, you rolled twice, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to roll.
That was my fault, and I read it wrong. So I'm gonna give you the 20. Tynna, you are noticing that you're watching a creature of light be enveloped by a cloud of shadow, and it's just enough to take your attention in this moment. Thoricus, Divot, and Rial, you kind of start noticing, you're being. I think you're muted right now, Drew. I wasn't sure if you were trying to talk to me or not.
No, I was saying the boys are back in town.
There it is. Yes. You see, and now I'm glad we unmuted. So you guys are standing there, and there's almost the yellow of these candles. Is almost very soothing, like you almost feel like it's trying to put you to sleep a little bit. Like it's not purely magical, but there's like a wholeness to the yellow light of this. And all three of you seemingly at the same kind of moment start, you like kind of shake your head out of it a little bit. Thoricus, specifically you, who's like had enough of like sleep magic and things in your mind. You're like, no. You start looking around and you notice something strange, Thoricus. You are surrounded in 75% of you by candles. However, you're only casting one shadow. And you kind of look down at your feet, and again, your Battlemaster training kind of just like something's off. This, you felt comfortable where you were standing, and now something has shifted, and you're not quite sure what it is. But you see this shadow, and you start looking around, and you make eyes with Divot and Rial, who seem to be noticing a similar thing. With candles coming from all directions, you should have skittering shadows in all directions as well. But currently, each of you only has one shadow being cast directly back from you. Thoricus, you move your arm, and the shadow doesn't move.
You see that? Look.
The shadow is unmoving.
Okay, I have no quarrel with Aromastus, but we earned the right to move to wherever the prizes might be. His words.
Yeah, now we earned it.
We've come this far.
Absolutely.
I'm just wondering why, like what's the shadow thing about? That's a weird thing. What does that mean? Anyone know about that?
What's going on?
I wasn't gonna talk about it.
If we don't mention it.
That's how people end up like turned into hamburger meat, is by not communicating shit.
I just assumed everybody noticed that. I've got the eye vest on. I'm like, oh yeah, you guys didn't notice the shadow thing?
No, the candles have this weird thing going on. Amber is the color of their energy, and whoa.
Which direction would the shadow be coming from if one of the candles was real or whatever?
So that's a fair question. All of your shadows are casted back away from Aromastus. So it's like the shadows all fall. Again, when I say east, south, west, north, I'm always just referring to the map that we're on. So I apologize for like if our compass gets a little weird compared to the last map, but it's just for ease of like understanding in the room you're in. So it's almost as if the only candle that is casting a shadow in this moment would be the two candles sitting on top of the pillar or the altar that Aromastus is currently kind of like leaning on. So your shadows are casting directly to the west behind you.
So right there, right?
Can I try kicking one of the candles into the blackness?
Yes. So you there's not really a strength check involved for kicking a candle, unless you're going for distance. If you're going for distance, if you like want to try to impress everybody with how far you can.
Oh yeah, that's really fun. Of course.
Awesome.
Of course, I will be impressive. Of course.
All right.
Kick that shit in the skull.
See if I can hit the heart.
Kick that hard right in its ass.
Kick it in the heart. Oh man, yeah.
Well, you know.
All right, it didn't get to the heart.
Oh.
I kicked it. As long as I got it off of the thing, it's an experiment. Just want to see what happens.
Yeah, no, Brunor, you know, like it's like when you're going to kick something, but you kind of aim too high, so you just kind of wing the top of it. But actually, Brunor, you run up to this candle and you kind of like plant your left foot and you swing your foot and you kind of miss a little bit, like you were trying to aim center of mass, but you don't kick a lot of things. And so, you know, the shifting ground beneath your feet a little bit, your foot kind of grazes the top of the candle, but you notice your foot goes right through it. And the candle just kind of wavers for a moment, but continues burning.
The candle's not real. The candle's not real.
Cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie, unless you go through the air vent. There's a cake.
Right.
But there's no air vents in here because we're underground, and the candles are not white. And I look up at Aromatic and I go, what's with all this smoke and mirrors, bruh?
Yeah.
You hear him gasping even harder for breath as he...
This is an echo of a realm in the Shadowfell.
And this would, Riao, you would actually, again, we've kind of like, we've had you, your knowledge of the plains is like as book read as you are from your time in the Cloister of Trees. You do know that it's like the Shadowfell exists as almost like a lamination over the top of the prime material plane. And at places of extremely dark magic and extremely rare situations, the gateway between those two worlds starts withering away. Similar to how in the Dryad's cult, you guys were able to get to the Feywild, like, because that was a place of this like high Fey energy. So in a similar sense, Aramastus is basically saying your feet right now are not actually stepping in, like the things you're seeing around you right now are not actually on the prime material plane. You're actually half kind of in this layered, you know, like think of it as like a lamination over the top. You know, it's like you can still affect it and be in it, but you're still in the prime material plane. You have not transferred to the Shadowfell, but that the strength of this darkness, this magic here is so strong that you're kind of like standing on a layer you wouldn't normally be able to see.
Wow. So we haven't gone like full Soul Reaver with changing to the other realm. It's just
Oh, yeah.
Correct. Oh, bro, Legacy of Kain, my man. Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, it's not like full Ring Wraith mode or anything. Like, yeah, it's more like you're that invisible layer that always exists over these areas in the world. You're kind of privy to what. So you're assuming like maybe in the Shadowfell, this is some kind of like altar or temple of some dark sacred power or something. And so that's why this skull, if you remember in the memory of Achaeus, that skull was not present. That skull was not a feature of this place. And so again, you know, as the words of Caesentius kind of start mixing with all of this knowledge, it's like, okay, that's kind of what's going on here. Like Caesentius's skull is probably in the Shadowfell, and like that's the dark magic that allows this portal to exist, anchored to Aromastus, which has kind of consumed the elven spirit so loyal to Zulithax, and perhaps why he's the perfect anchor. He only wants one thing, and as long as he's still doing that thing, his energy can be kind of twisted by this powerful energy from the Shadowfell. So I know that was a little, I know I just hit you with like some exposition, but there's like a lot of little tidbits there that Riao, you as someone with knowledge of the planes would know. Like that, you know, Jake doesn't know that, but Rial does.
Oh yeah. I read the book. You know, you got to read the book first.
Yeah, not a history book. It wasn't a history
No,
book.
No.
No.
My boy's wicked book smart, though.
He's wicked smart.
Very interesting.
So that's why she kicked through and that's what's kind of strange about the fact that, well, if they're not real, why are they casting shadows in the material plane? You know, it's like, why would it, you know, Riao, you're a master of illusions specifically. Like, that's your school of magic. And it's like, if this was an illusionary candle, it shouldn't be casting an actual shadow at all, you know? And so it's just a little strange, just some strange oddities, you know, also surrounding you, this strange black bubbling river of tar, a giant undead skull.
Can Divot's coat see, like his vest, I mean, see like the difference between all the planes, or just...
Actually, no, because this is not, so it's not an element of invisibility. This is like actually happening. So, although, you know, Divot, you're by, you know, being a caster of your own, you know, you're not this isn't like alien to you entirely. You know, bards sing great songs of the plains, so you're very familiar with some of the more basic.
Now I do have true sight. Like I could see the.
Oh, you have
the
true
hat.
sight?
No, I don't mean like literally. I just mean like with the vest. Like remember when the hag was messing with Thoricus?
Yes.
I could see that happen.
Yes. So that's actually a great clarification here. So Divot, in this case, it's not acting the way that those illusions and stuff were. There is something substantial to the place you're standing in. It's just not necessary. It's not an illusion. It's more, like I said, it's more like an echo of what this place is like in the Shadowfell. So yes, you know, it might not take this exact form. You know, if you went to the Shadowfell, this room might look different. But this area specifically, this kind of wellspring of darkness near the skull and Aromastus and the area around you, you know, that's the only place you see these candles lit. That little area just seems to be so strong in dark magic that it's actually imprinting the details of the Shadowfell in the room with you.
All this dark magic is impressive, but it is ominous.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you could feel some strong magics. Caesintius was not bragging. He didn't have to make a deception check. You know, the feasting on the souls of thousands was true. Aromastus and is you know, a powerful entity. Divot, you've seen the void of darkness when you looked into his eyes, and it felt like he was holding something back. And so, yeah, you know, it's this giant black beating heart, black rivers of tar. This whole room just has it's that Shadowfell creep, that tickle in your spine that something isn't right. And your doubts start to creep in a little stronger than they normally would. You're not able to filter them out as easily.
Well, I noticed that this place kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. So, shall we try and do the thing that we came here to do, and then we can discuss how to handle all of this after? Or do you guys feel that we need to take care of all this right now?
No, they've been waiting for hundreds of years. They can wait.
Yeah, I mean, they can wait. They've been here. I mean, that guy's so powerful. He's killed thousands of people. I mean, I'm not trying to compare body counts or anything, but I'm alive and you're dead, and you probably killed the same amount of people. So.
But
you come off as a little braggy. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if you can hear me or not, Skull. That's all I'm saying.
So how do we start these trials, my brother?
Yeah, how do we do that?
How do we start these trials?
You see Aromastus kind of shifting. And you see again that, like, out of the shadow, that elvish hand, you know, glimmering with blue and white illusionary magic, kind of reaches out, and then you just see his finger, like, and he points over, you know, remember he had mentioned to the southeast. Now, from where you're standing, actually, Divot, I'm going to give you would actually see more than this. Well, no. Yeah, because you're still kind of behind this big giant rock here in the middle of the room. But there's a pathway that leads kind of to the west of you guys in this kind of large square-shaped room. To the south of you, you know, there's not really necessarily a way to cross the river. Now you have Brian, so you could always just, you know, one at a time seize if you wanted. To the south of you, there's kind of this strange green island that the Black Heart of the Mountain, as Caesintius referred to it. I just sucked hair into my mouth. Choking on my own hair. There's a problem. That's a new problem. So yes, there is this kind of twisted island that kind of coils down to, and it seems to go down in elevation to where the dark heart is, you know, beating. But yeah, it appears that the cavern kind of goes on in both directions around you. It seems like where the skull is to the east is kind of the end of the room, so to speak. But there's quite a bit of area back behind you to the west, and then to the south and southwest as well. So however you guys want to move about this space is up to you.
All right. Well, I think that maybe we should, if we can afford the time, to maybe take a short rest. I know some of us got kind of fucked up. I mean, I didn't, but maybe a short rest to get some skills back, some hit points, figure out.
I think that's a great idea, Thoricus. I'm kind of feeling it myself.
Okay, so a short rest in a hostile environment is tricky. There would be I want you guys to know, because this is not, you're not in like a safe area of the woods, you're not in a cave that you've cleared out all the villains. You don't really know what waits in the shadows in this place. As I said, that creeping feeling of dread is all around. There's real evil in this area. It's not like a video game where it's like you can't camp when enemies are nearby. But there will be, and I'm gonna, in all honesty, there would be 2 rolls because of the risks of camping in an area like this. Short rest is only an hour, so it's not like you guys have to worry about sleep or anything like that. But use some hit dice, heal yourself up and stuff. Let's not say 2. There would just be 1 roll for a potential encounter that could occur in this place if you guys were to try to short rest here.
Okay. Well, there's that, guys. And then also, I do remember the Kurtlemock statue, after I gave the 15 platinum, was pinging an area that I think is back down this hall to the west, kind of west of where we are mostly.
Yeah, no,
and,
that's a great point. He had pinged something in the top left of a square for you.
And this is kind of a square room, and that goes left, and there's kind of a weird little cavern thing.
Do some
wanna
crazy.
Do you want to check
Yeah.
that out?
Maybe
I still got some
we go
lead.
check that out, and it'll be safer back there because that's kind of like a little cavern thing, and then maybe our roll for resting won't be so shitty. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I already walk over that way.
All right,
Yeah.
so just give me
Let's
your
do
marching order there, guys. Just kind of put yourself in order. I'll reveal this as you guys kind of get to the next point. Bruno, you and Thoricus kind of tend to lead the charge, so you guys kind of walk around that little corner there, and allow me to reveal what you see. You would actually get most of this. I'm just going to go ahead and reveal. What wouldn't you see? Just this little strip right here, probably. Screw it. I'll just do that. So it's like I don't want to. It's fine. So yeah, as you kind of round this corner, you see this same this giant, large room, this big square. Well, a nice square that Thoricus was apt to point out. As you guys kind of round the big giant gray boulder there in the middle of the room, and the strange glowing candles, you leave as you kind of edge around the corner, you notice that this place gets real dark real fast. So does anybody have anybody who doesn't have dark vision? And remember, dark vision, just so you know, it's not you just see everything in the dark. You see as if it's dim light. So you still have disadvantage on perception checks and things hiding from you. Or no, I think that's how it works out. They just have disadvantage on you have disadvantage on perception checks. So if you have dark vision, you can see not in color, but just like as if there's a dim light in whatever radius that you have that vision. I'm sorry I haven't done the cool Roll20 give you dynamic lighting effects thing. I'm sorry. I want to do that. I will start doing that, but for right now, just be real. If you don't have dark vision, you're going to need a light source of some kind.
Got it.
And if only we had a lantern. If only.
I'll use my cantrip of I think I have light on my ring and kind of like light the room up for everybody a little bit.
Okay, so again, I know I've revealed the map to you guys, but let's just stay theater of the mind as you kind of go through this space, and I'll explain it as you come across. So can you cast? Here, let me just. What's the range on light?
Oh shit! I did not mean to hit that. My bad.
You shattered.
Oh my god!
It's just Divots trying to cast a different spell, and he accidentally shatters you guys.
No, I'm just not used to using the pad here.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we have our man Divots in town with us right now, so he's actually sitting over there in my living room, and I'm so happy to. I'm gonna hug you soon.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm coming, fully vaccinated, ready to hug.
Now kiss.
I do notice that this died, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so as you guys are kind of like stepping through this, like I said, the lighting almost instantly stops, and there's just this eerie cloud of darkness. And for those of you that can't see in the dark, it gets a little scary pretty quick. Tynna, a creature of light, being in this almost pure darkness, kind of sitting on you with these dwelling, creeping, feelings that you have from being in this environment. And then suddenly your brother, reaches his hand out, and you see light illuminates. Now it's only a 20-foot radius, so you guys got to keep it kind of tight. You can't really see the roof. I would say the roof, you could have seen it in the other chamber. You guys came down about 50 feet. So it's a big, tall area. The air is really damp, but it still reeks of that tar smell, kind of burns the back. There's a little sulfur to this bubbling black crud. A new source, almost as if that river that you were standing nearby has gone underground and then it's creeped out again as you all kind of move forward. And I'm just going to tighten you guys up a little bit more. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing.
And I can actually see all right, but I'm like aware that the whole group can't.
Yeah, Divot, you're kind of, exactly. You're kind of helping illuminate the way for the people who cannot see right now. You kind of start walking around, and one quick thing that you notice to the south, as there's kind of these like long cliffs that drop down to another little area of that black tar, sourced from where the skull is just pouring it out. You notice that there's this strange, like withered plant life all around the rim. It reminds you immediately of your last journey through the Malachite Mountains, that strange fey brush that was kind of everywhere as you walked through toward those crystals. This would be like the Shadowfell version of that. It's these, large, wide water leaves, but they're withered and black, and it almost looks like little bits of ash trickle off the tip of them as the tar waters just kind of sludge into them, like a little dust of ashes in the air. You can kind of taste it in your throat. But you see as the edge of your light, Divot, you can see that inside this whole cavern pretty well. You notice that there's a large giant dragon skull and spine resting in the northeast corner beyond this strange little bridge, only 5 feet wide, that goes between basically where you guys are standing now and that corner in the northeast. About 5 feet wide, it hangs over about a 10-foot drop that drops down into this large pool of this black tar. Now, Divot, because you can actually see, there is another way around this if you went to the south of these, not having to navigate across this kind of treacherous bridge. You could go to the south. It would put you kind of near that strange Shadowfell brush, and the ash that kind of clouds in the air around it. So that's what you see, Divot. Those of you with 20 feet of light, you're just making out, the startings of the footings of this strange bridge. You hear the bubbling of the tar beneath it. What do you guys want to do?
I'm curious, especially looking at this tar and just the overall darkness, especially after seeing Divot give us some light. I'm gonna grab just an arrow and see if I can scoop up a little bit of the tar on an arrowhead.
Yeah, so honestly the easiest way to do this, Rial, because I know it's kind of hard to tell from a down top map, these pools that you're close to your west are down. They're down about 10 feet. But the one over here, if you wanted to just backtrack, and you could do this with no penalty or anything, just run back to where this river was over here by Aromastis. You could dip a tip of your arrow in there if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I want to give that a shot because I'm curious if this, because it's such an otherworldly thing, if it's flammable like pitch is in the material plane, but I don't just want to set it all on fire. So it's our little test.
Yeah, so you're you take it out. Are you gonna create bonfire on it basically and see what it does? So you notice one thing immediately, Rial. You take your wooden arrow, okay, and you look at the shaft of the wood, and it's like the brown wood that the arrow was carved from, and it's got little veins of like the knot of the wood that was in there and stuff. And you see the life of this tree that existed. That and as an elf, you are very reverent of the trees that allow them to be made into arrows, and there's a respect there. And you dip the tip of the arrow in, and you watch the black sludge kind of again, like a little bit of the venom symbiote. It just kind of latches on, and you watch as the color of the wood is drained to a gray ash color, as if this tar has sucked the life out of it. So you're kind of looking at this white ashen arrow in your hand, and you summon your bonfire. You see the fire illuminates as if it normally would, but it does not seem to be burning like a tar, for example, like a traditional, an oil or a lantern, something like that. It doesn't stay combusted. It's only as long as you hold the magic there. So you don't think that these giant tar rivers are flammable. They do, however, seem to leech life.
Interesting. Okay. Well, gotta learn that lesson. How about the shadow brush? Light that up instead. Let's get some light in here. I have to spell out. This kind of.
Actually, that would work. So you, Rial, you walk over. You just want to kind of light this stuff close to the south view here. Just give it a test.
Yeah, almost like an impromptu torch, especially if I do have dark vision and the light helps too, that did cast, so I can kind of see that alternate path that's not a spooky 5-foot bridge.
Right, but it does draw you right by some of this brush. So you kind of go to the tail of the end of it here, kind of directly to your south. You're stepping a little bit outside of the ring of light of Divot, and letting your magic illuminate this area. You summon the bonfire, and you watch the plant. It like goes up super fast, and then you see this strange cloud of ash just now floating over top it.
Okay. Interesting. This is one kooky place, guys.
Shadowfell's weird, bro.
This is pretty weird. This is weird.
All right, I'm curious. Can I dip the Blightbringer into that same black sludge and see if it has any effect on that, since supposedly it's from this plane of existence or whatever?
Yeah. Heck yeah, you can, bro. So, that's, again, I know it's like
That's
such a dumb...
right.
Yeah, you'll have to go back to the... Yeah, so Thoricus, you in this moment, kind of seeing all this stuff, strange to you, you kind of start, like that thought that Drew had, Thoricus, it's like it's just bubbling in his brain. Like you just look down at this like ashen rock, blade. It cuts like iron, but is clearly made of this strange black stone that calls home to the Shadowfell. And it's, you look over at the river. You thought about it up top before too, remember? So this is the second time this idea has entered your mind. And there's a little bit of a strange, like, it's not like you're going to unlock ultimate evil or anything. I don't want to give that impression. But there is a strange, like, this, your thoughts are validated. You look at this axe and you feel like it wants to be dipped in there a little bit. Now it's, again, I know how paranoid PCs can be, so I don't want you to be like, great, now I do this and then I get possessed and kill the team. It's not anything like that. But I
had that thing glued to my hand.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be stuck again.
I'm gonna do it. No. So yeah, I just wanted to give, like, this is a cool little moment. So Thoricus, you walk over and you've seen Rial now do this. You see him kind of lighting some plants on fire behind you. Oh, Rial. And you kind of answer this strange feeling in your mind. You walk over and you just dip the stony tip, like an ice cream cone, into the chocolate. And you just pull it out. And you watch, like as the tar has kind of dripped off of both the kobolds that came out and the arrow tip as Rial pulled it from the water. There is no drip of tar that comes away from your axe. Thoricus, the next strike that you do with this axe does +4 damage. Necrotic. But only one strike.
God damn.
But it is necrotic damage too.
The chronic damage?
The chronic damage.
Nice.
Yo, that's gotta be a new damage type in Ganjaria.
Yeah, necrotic.
Yo, I will smoke to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we go. Let's smoke to that.
That's good.
You get some of that chronic damage though, bro.
So Thoricus, you're standing there, looking at this kind of like the axe in this moment. You're feeling the raw power. You look at this kind of like hum of dark energy that's just like this stone was made to absorb this, and just kind of sponges into the blade. It still kind of coats the edge of it and everything. And you're looking, and you kind of like see something dart out of the corner of your eye. And you look over.
No, not you.
You look over to the altar where Aramastus sat, and he's gone.
Aww.
You just see the hollow chamber, the giant skeleton the skull, fixed in the corner, the black rivers jetting out of it. You hear the beating black heart. But as you've seen him whisper around, you're kind of just like checking your surroundings. You don't see Aramastus.
See, sometimes problems solve themselves. He's gone.
Yeah, I have a feeling that'll just work itself out. Yeah, so that guy's gone. The guy with the long face that I hate when Brandon does it. That guy, it creeps me out so bad when you do it, dude. It's like the opposite of Sir Curie.
He makes like terrible noises. Like he's always. This whole room just makes awful noises. I don't like any of it.
I want
But
to see if
she
there's a CVS around here so we can get that guy his inhaler.
So good.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh,
Oh, thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Oh.
Anyways, hello, my name is Aromath.
Hi, Aramastus. Nice to meet you.
Man, so what's that old adage about a bridge in the first act? I'm gonna cautiously start walking towards the bridge.
All right, Divot, you start walking up toward this little ledge here, and Divot is your guys' light source, so anybody who can't see in the dark is probably hugging pretty close to him. You kind of start walking over here, and you notice it's strange, Divot. Like this, you look at where the skeleton skull head is, and even though all around it is this strange black lifelessness, there's almost like a strange aura around the dragon skull head in the northwest area, past the bridge. You start looking at some of these bones that are on the ground around you here. Sorry, I just super zoomed in on accident. And you notice that it's almost like this hole, this void where this lake of black is beneath you, like punched a hole directly through this dragon. And so the bones that rest on this bridge are actually like a connection to that head. At one point, what was resting here appears to be the body of the largest dragon you've ever seen. I mean, even the stories of ancient dragons barely compare to, again, the size. After old giant skull back there, it might not be as overwhelming as it may have been, a few minutes ago. But again, this skeleton here is of a massive dragon. I mean, Harnax would barely fit in the skull of this dragon. So you notice, you start, you're very cautious. You put your feet on the bridge of stone that goes across it. It seems stable. You kind of put your foot down and see if it's going to drop you into this lake of tar beneath. But as far as you can tell, the ground itself is sturdy.
Oh, I'm gonna hop on Brian and fly next to them.
I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna Leroy Jenkins and just run all the way across.
Cooper it!
Nice. Thoricus, give me an athletics check.
Dragon Skull! All right!
What did you say? Athletics?
Athletics, yeah.
Oh!
That's my man. All right. Ooh, great hit. Yeah, a good one.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hydrate. Crit sip. Crit sip, friends. So Thoricus, you start again. Just you feel a little that welling of energy. You feel the strength of the weapon in your hand. You kind of start. You see as your friends cautiously kind of gazing away. You're filled with this like, and you just start running. About halfway through, you feel the ground start to give way beneath your feet. You start to jump, and you watch as these black tendrils from the water underneath grab your feet as you jump in the air. Suddenly, you start getting pulled down 10 feet. Brunor, you're flying on Brian. You see Thoricus getting pulled into this black water. And then suddenly, you're like, what the? You see Thoricus's eyes. They shift black, kind of like the kobolds were above you. And you see him in a moment, he grabs the combined dual-sided axe of Lucille and the Blightbringer, and he starts spinning it like you've seen him do before. And it just starts slashing away all of these tendrils. And then he grabs the axe, looks down, and with the big, tar-covered black edge of the Blightbringer, you see as he's falling into the water, he throws it directly down. Thoricus, you throw it, and as the axe splits the water, your axe just goes directly down to about 10 feet down where the bottom of this reservoir would be. But it literally splits all of this tar. You fall down, you land, your eyes shift back to you. You look down, you see the axe. You look to your left and your right. This wall of tar is about to close down on you, and you just jump. That's your crit athletics check. You jump out and you watch as the black water of the sludgy tar just closes beneath you. A couple tendrils reach out to try to grab at you, but they are unsuccessful. You land on the other side. Allow me to draw a black square.
Oh,
Oh my
I
god.
square?
We're gonna start with a square. All right, boom.
Square.
Then we're gonna go to a rectangle. Boom, and then I'm
Oh
just
my
gonna
God.
generally fill this area in. So just know this is kind of like this area has broken. You see the giant spine of the dragon. What piece was connected to the ground falls into the waste below. Thoricus, you land, just feeling dope. You kind of, again, a little what was that? That weird flash of strange power that you had in that moment. You've imbued the Raka before, and it didn't quite feel like that. And so as you stand, you notice, you look down at your feet, hoping the ground beneath you is sturdy, and it is. And then suddenly you're like looking down at the ground beneath you, and you start to watch this black shape stretch out from your feet. You look on the ground in front of you, and it's your shadow. You look around, Divot's light source far enough away that it shouldn't be casting any shadows at this point. You give it a little one of give it a one of these, and it doesn't move. You kind of turn and look over your shoulder, and you watch. The shadows are, and you look over, and you notice that all of the shadows of everybody, including Brian, have stretched out from them. And then all at once, Thoricus, as you turn to tell them, you watch the shadows lift up off the ground and try to stab everybody. And that's where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys. Don't trust the shadows.
No.
I love how much you guys connect to how terrible, how bad this place is. It's it's a joy to be like, what's the most evil thing I can contrive? Yes. All right. So, buds, holy crap, we will be right back, because trust me, this is it just gets doper and doper. There's so much cool shit. I can't wait to show you guys. But yes, please definitely check this freaking intermission out. I want to say it was kind of a personal milestone for us as a show. Our intermission has long been like a loop of this amazing art submitted for the show that would play several times and all this, and loop throughout the intermission. It is now one solid 10-minute piece of all original artwork and all original music, and time lapses done by artists like Sean Gilchrist, Jake Taylor, Vlad Kolinik has his most recent series that's been colored. Some of his new work is in there, and guys, it's just such an amazing thing to just be like, look at this fucking creation. Art Hard Studios is named for such. We like to art hard around here, so it is absolutely, take a look at this. We'll do our little battle royale, of course, but man, just take a look. It is pretty amazing to see what such wonderfully creative people can come up with. Ray Torres also submitting incredible work. Ben Shell, Gabe. Oh man, it's yes, you could see the combined efforts of just a team of amazing artists and buds who just send stuff in. So it's I love intermission. Please enjoy it, and I cannot wait to get back here for some of this D&D. The shadows. The shadows haunt you.
Yeah.
Welcome back, buds, to Weed&d, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. It feels better. It feels better.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? I am your Dungeon Master for the night, Brandon Al McClanahan. They call me Bam. These are the wonderful Ferocious Five, and we are going to be jumping here back in. They were exploring in the cave of the Den of Dragons and came upon a strange bridge that stood over this 10-foot drop into a black river of tar. Thoricus, in a great display of a strange, untapped dark strength, plummeted the Blightbringer into the water, splitting him, giving him a time to grab his axe, jump out without being consumed by the life-leeching waters. So we're gonna jump back in here, and we rejoin the five. Thoricus, you're still standing on the little bridge. You hear the gurgling of that strange life-leeching tar beneath you. You just looked up and noticed all these shadows peeling up from the ground, and with these like sharp dagger-like shadows trying to stab into each one of you guys. So we're just gonna popcorn this one, but they are going first. So here we go. Sorry, I probably should have set this up during intermission. Here we go. All right, so first attack. 14 AC on you, Thoricus.
No, sir.
Nice. Being the first to notice the blades, you kind of catch the shadow. You feel it has real physical form. It's you feel that strange leeching magic coming off of it strangely, though. Rial, the one on you see plunges at you with his dark magical blade. Oh, crit! Perfect. 24. All right. That's a hit. So let's see. It's reduced. Oh, there's no save. Brutal. All right. So Rial, you take 15 necrotic damage. Rial, as this shadowy dagger stabs into your skin, you feel your muscles tense up, and you start feeling the strength of them leached from your body. You lose 4 from your strength. Your actual strength is now 4 less. So you have -2 to any stuff that's strength related until you don't know if what this is. But this shadowy dagger, this leeching life blade, seems to drink the strength out of your very body. No save. That's pretty brutal. And since they are attacking you guys with stealth, this one actually rolled. Oh no, it has advantage because it was stealth. That's another crit. Dude. Holy shit, I'm sorry. It did have advantage. It would only hit a 6. So this is on whoever's next to Divot. This is on you, buddy. You take 19 necrotic damage.
Great.
And your strength is reduced by 2. Keep a note on what your original strength was if you're going to change it on the character sheet. But yes, Divot. So you have a -1 to any strength-related skills or attacks or anything that you would do or checks. Is how a -2 strength gives you -1 to your ability modifier. So, man, yeah, the Divot, you notice, the same piercing blade, it strikes into your bones, and it just starts, almost like the strange mushrooms the Feywild did. They start like leeching the marrow out of your bones. That's how your strength loss is kind of visualized. Moving over next, Tynna, this one's on you. If it crits again. No, it did get a 20 AC though, a dirty 20.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yeah, these dudes are lighting you guys up. 13 necrotic damage. You feel the cold, piercing stab of this strange life-leeching dagger that it stabs you with. And Tynna, your strength is reduced by 1. So unless
Shantia's protecting me. I got that halo of wonderful light and energy. But I'm still affected though.
but that still hurt though.
It still hurt.
So I'm gonna be real about. Did they have? Oh no, they have I'm sorry, they don't. Okay, so Bruno, I'm gonna be fair about this because you did say that you and Brian were flying. I'm gonna allow the shadows to take an attack at you, but they can't fly. So they do so, and then they fall off of you to the ground. So where you're at right now, this one is at you. You see the cold dagger with advantage, a 20 AC.
I have a 21 armor class.
You know, Bruno, you catch the blade and literally just throw the shadow off, just like, and you hear him just kind of splash like a shadow, like a water on the ground, about, let's say, 10 feet beneath you. And then the one that's on Brian, 12 AC. He rolled really poorly.
Brian is the one I was about to 14, baby.
Nice. Yeah, you see the thick, dragon skin of Brian. The shadow dagger just kind of like boink, bounces off of it, and he is not victim to the leech either. I think that's everybody. So we're just gonna popcorn this back to Thoricus. You on the other side of the bridge. What do you do?
If I may, before we get started on initiative, I do want to hellish rebuke the shadow that attacked me.
Absolutely. You burn your reaction, and go ahead and hellish rebuke him. You guys don't have a ton of HP.
You know.
Nice. He gets to make a DC. Here's his dex save. 17. He passed on the dot. Does he take half on a save? I believe he does.
That sounds right.
That does sound right. I don't feel like looking it up right now, but so yeah, it's typically saved for half. So 60 feet, that's well within range. Divot, as he pierces your bone, you lash back at him with some dark magic of your own. It burns him for 4. What kind of damage? I think Hellish Rebuke is necrotic. Am I right? Yeah. What? It doesn't. Oh yeah. Ooh.
It's fire.
Check that out. I actually do need to know, Divot. Check the Hellish Rebuke for me.
Yes. It is fire damage.
Oh, that's funny. I always have thought of it as a necrotic burst. I'm sorry. I'll describe it more as evil fire from now on.
Yeah, it's like calling fire from another place.
All right, so this thing is resistant to fire, so it takes half of your half. It takes 2 damage.
May I also burn a reaction too?
Yes, sir.
I forgot. Okay. It's like even with the muscles cramping up, like from this nasty ass shadow blade, still got that like muscle memory at this point. Like as we've all grown as adventurers and gotten our new skills, like I can kind of feel like that magic a little bit, just as my dexterity's gotten better. So I can still uncanny dodge, even though I feel that lock. It's like right before, just like
nice.
So at least lamp the blow because I didn't get.
Yeah, you would only take half of that.
Just take half damage from an incoming attack.
Perfect.
But the -4 strength still applies, I'm sure.
Dope. All right.
And round up. So from 15, it's 8.
Actually, I would round down. So it's
Okay.
you take 7. I pretty much just universally round down. I do think that's the rule in 5e, but I figure as long as whatever we do it consistently. Rounding down to divide the half always seems fairest to me. So, yes.
Ooh, thank you.
And then yeah, he took a little, and you reduced your damage. Perfect. So Thoricus, it is your move. You look down at the shadow. It is exactly your shadow. It's the height and proportions. It's a little skinnier and wispier, but each of these is very clearly like the shadow of the person. So Thoricus, you look down at this shadowy form of yourself. Kind of you're holding the shadowy dagger in your hand. That welling sense of power within you. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna burn my reaction as well, since the boys are all doing it. I'm gonna just do what my friends do.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Riposta, the rock of riposta."
A riposta.
Rapasta.
That's a taste.
And yeah, so I roll a d8. And then, I roll an attack also. Right?
Yeah, you hit him, and then if you hit, You gotta add the D8.
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, I think you hit.
Maybe a 27. I don't know.
So you add that 5 to the damage.
And I also add 4 to that from dipping the Blightbringer in.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
here's kind of a weird
tip.
moment, though. The shadow is actually immune to necrotic damage. So I'm going to let you keep the cool. Like, it's because it doesn't get used. You know what I mean? It doesn't absorb into him. I'm going to leave it on there. It's a cool thing, and you don't lose it in this moment. You still have that. But it does. Let me just double check. I'm sorry. These things have all kinds of crazy resistances. I just want to give them their due. But I think because you have, yes, they're magical weapons, so you cut through the damage resistance that they have. However, they are immune to necrotic damage. So the extra 4 stays on your axe. And how much did you end up doing, Thoricus?
That'd be 18.
Thoricus. What do you
13
do?
slash and then 5 from the maneuver.
What do you do to him?
Oh, well, after he misses me, I just want to be like, you guys just never learn. Papa's gonna bring the pain. And then just fucking swing it around big time and just slash right through the motherfucker, being like, I got damn it, I didn't get +4 to that. You're probably immune to this, but you're still cut the fucking half, and you are not immune to being cut in half.
It's true. Nowhere on here does it say immunity to being cut in half. Yeah, Thoricus, you eviscerate this thing. Almost like in Peter Pan, you wrap your finger around the taily wisp at the bottom of the shadow, and you just kind of start slapping him on the ground and just chopping him like a vegetable before a stew. There's just little pieces of the remnant of your shadow all around you, but he is dead.
Wow.
Guys, they're not immune to being cut in half.
Oh.
Oh.
Heads up.
Oh.
Battle
It
tip.
is.
You still have your whole move here, Thoricus, actually. You still have your whole turn. You can move in between attacks, so you still have an extra attack as well. There would be an athletics check involved in getting back across the ravine.
Well, I feel like I should help my friends.
Just sit down, have a mole egg, bro.
Yeah, chill out.
I mean,
We said we were short resting, guys.
I already committed to the nap. I only have like a certain time frame before I start getting really shitty.
He's already laying down.
But no, I'm just thinking, I know there's something special. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, so it was in the northwest over here. I see this big dragon skull, and I'm like, well, fuck, it's gotta be right there. It's the corner of the room, it's a big fucking dragon skull. I'm not an idiot. There's probably something special over there. So I don't know if I should go and just go check that out while you guys are all handling business on your own, and then come back, or should I just hop across and do the damn thing with you? Because I feel like dancing.
Papa feels like dancing.
Yo, you just answered that question. You feel like do it, my man.
Do
Let's go.
anything. Do something crazy. Do something crazy.
Ew, something
Use your
like
bow.
23.
Yay.
Like a boss.
Oh,
No problem.
shit.
You do a little sick front flip as you jump. Your center of gravity is much lower as a dwarf, so you're just so strong. You're just land on the other side.
Oh yeah. Bam, I'm right here. All right. So then, was that considered a move, or?
That's just one point of move for you. So you can, by going diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, you can still get to the shadow on Divot, and yeah, you could hit the shadow on Real too. You would just have to move after your attack,
Okay.
unless you just want to chop the one on Divot, which you can reach.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Dope.
It's fine.
17?
That's a hit.
Ow!
Woo!
Just so you guys know, they actually have pretty low AC. They have a 12 AC.
12. Okay.
23.
Big Papa. That's a hit. Yeah.
It's 25 points of damage total.
All right, Thoricus, what do you do?
Papa.
Well, I just want to it said just do that cool front flip thing and run down the fucking rest of the bridge Naruto style, just fucking twirling the girls behind me. Like, oh god, I gotta get my nap, and you motherfuckers are ruining it, and you're fucking with my friends, fucking with my nap, and Tynna's breakfast. God damn it! Just like come in and fucking tear through the motherfucker. You're like, stay away from my friends.
You're like screaming at the shattered pieces of the shadow on the ground. You know, you feel that kind of strange surge in your eyes again a little bit, like a little wash of black, as you're just like, stay away from my friends. You know, the rage of battle within you. You kind of turn around and look. You know, 2 eviscerated shadows between when you last moved. That's your bonus action too. I believe that's the end. Who do you want to pass it to, Thoricus?
I didn't use my bonus action.
Your second attack, the second Blightbringer. Because your first attack was the one across the bridge. So your second attack with Lucille, it was for 9, and then you used your bonus action for the Blightbringer attack.
It was the action.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Cool. Then I would. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and action surge.
Nice.
just keep going, baby.
Yeah, move on, man.
Right on top of the guy, just decimated. Just kind of zigzag my way up in murder type fashion.
RQ.
Dope.
22.
That's a hit.
13 damage.
He still lives. You know, you cut through the shadow, the surging power of the moment that you had when your eyes went black. It's not like you're losing control or being possessed or anything, Thoricus. You're just, again, you're tapping into this another strange wellspring of power, maybe for the first time. You know, it feels like a different place that you draw this wrathful strength from.
Right, like the sadness side instead of like the battle fury side.
Yes, exactly. Like it's like the memories that, remember, were so important to you to hold on to that you refuse to trade away. You know, now you're strangely drawing exactly from that new fuel source. So, kind of a cool little paradigm there.
Yeah. Those is mines. You can't get this. All right, he's still alive.
So many times. Thoricus, what do you do to him?
Again, I'm gonna be like, stop, just. Guys, the nap, right? We talked about it. Just help me do that. That's all I want to do. I want some breakfast and I want a nap, and that's it. I love you guys so much too. Also, that's why I'm on a murder rampage.
He's like crying, but it's mostly because he just wants to get to his nap. All right.
I'm zigzag over here.
Yeah. You got one swing left. One swing.
24.
That's a hit.
All right. That's 8.
All right. He's still alive.
And then hold on. I think.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think that's it. Because you would only get the 2 extra attacks. You don't get a full bonus action.
Oh, I don't get a full bonus. Dang it. Okay.
But
well, I tried. Guys, I tried.
They're already dead.
I did my best.
Yeah, you see Thoricus, the Shadow Cleaver, just working his way through these strange shadows that would dare strike at his friends and his sweet, sweet nap. Thoricus, who do you pass the murder stick to?
Baby girl's right here, and that stupid son of a bitch is hurting already. So I'm gonna be like, hey, remember that time that I woke up and my face was on your mace? Yeah, do that to this motherfucker, because I need my nap, okay?
Okay, heard.
Do it, baby.
Yeah, so, and like, I'm not one to get in the way of Thoricus's nap. I've seen what can happen. So yeah, and this shadow self is really getting on my last nerve, so it's time to swang right over in their direction.
Awesome.
I'm gonna take that Mesa base and just offer.
It shines with that
little
radiant
swing.
light too. Remember now that new thing you have. So it kind of, like you said, how Shantia's got your back in this moment of pure darkness when a shadow strikes at you. You see that wellspring, that surge flow into your mace. Ooh, unfortunately, 10 AC, not good enough.
No.
Tynna, there is like this moment, again, as you've been kind of like closer to this trickster energy and this dark magic, you notice something about this shadow version of yourself. It's just how beautiful she is. And you kind of, you know what I mean? Like in that moment, you remember there's that tickle within you of the trickster power that you once had. And you remember like, you know, using your looks to survive on the road and just paving a path of glory behind you as you eventually led your way to the We3. And so it's like in this moment, it's hard for you to strike this shadow because you're just like basking a little bit in like, in the fact that
like she's so hot, to put it bluntly. She reminds me of like how I used to kind of transfigure my face in a different way to make myself appear more attractive, just to get by in certain situations. And now it's like looking in a mirror of somebody who I used to be. And it's like I don't want to take off the makeup after a long day and a lot of hard work. So I'm kind of like taken aback as I try to channel into Shantia's energy, and it kind of slips out of my fingers a little bit.
Yeah, you know, the mace kind of, it's almost like you swing, but you don't want to hit the thing. So the mace kind of stops, and the glowing, radiant light of the mace just kind of casts even more light on the delicate features of the strange shadow version of yourself. But again, as these like creeping emotions have kind of been getting the better of you, you know, an element of light in the Shadowfell darkness, you again are almost like captivated just by looking into your own shadow, a potential future, you know, that you now don't live. And just there's just a little too much in this moment for you to just strike this thing down, even though you know you have the strength to.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So I'm struggling to connect to Shantia in this moment, but I still have the divine strike ability, right? So I take a little bit of healing still in this scenario?
I think you have to, I think it's only when you're casting healing spells.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought it was when I struck too, but I'll have to check on that.
Let me peep that real quick. I'm just gonna take a look.
No, I should know too, so thank you.
No, it's one of our newer powers. So that's what's nice about, I don't want to say it in this way, but like a smaller encounter as opposed to like a big epic encounter, just to kind of learn the how the powers kind of synergize in a battle before you need the maximization of everything that you're using. You hit with that when you no. So the divine strike just adds extra radiant damage to your attack. It'll be a D8 for now, and it'll be and you just being a cleric of life, you know that like radiant damage would mess this creature up. So in this case, you don't. The gaining of life comes. It's because you have a disciple of life in which you get extra healing from your healing spells, and then divine strike is just extra radiant damage on your melee attack.
That was my bad. Thank you so much for the clarification.
No problem.
Yeah.
Now you do still have a bonus action, however. Don't let me like narrate away the rest of your turn.
Yeah.
If you wanted to cast a bonus action spell or something in this case, you totally can.
Yeah, I'm looking around and everybody else isn't doing so hot, so I want to see if I have near me. Well, Rial just took some damage, right? So I can he's within range right here, so I can I'm gonna grab his wrist real quick, and in sort of the heat of battle, I'm gonna offer a cure wounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will benefit. You'll get a little bit of healing from that. It'll heal for a little bit more as well.
Go. And so for 5, and I believe an extra 6 to that.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Even rolling a 1, you heal for 11. That's pretty dope. Life clerics, man. I cannot. They are great. Tynna, yeah.
So I'm caught up in him and like, feeling like that trickster electricity again threw me for a minute, but I know what my purpose is. I'm here to help my friends and make sure that we get through this alive to see another day.
Yeah, you reach back and you feel that, again, that flowing river of energy inside. You feel the river pass from your hand to the wrist of Rial. Rial, you heal for 11 points of damage.
Thank you, Smoothie. Like, I feel that right away. Just like from that touch, it's like, ooh, right.
She got that good.
Is that Shantia love? It's good.
Yo, Shantia looking at it. All right, so that would be your turn there, Tynna. Who do you want to pass to?
Who have we yet to?
Just Thoricus and you have gone so far.
Yeah. So I'm gonna toss it to my brother. I'm gonna toss it to Divot in this moment. You know, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared, and like the light and protection that he's offering, I want to see what he's gonna do. So I'm tossing it to Divot.
All right. And I'm hurting bad,
Yep.
but never one to shy away from a cool shadow. I'm going to whip out a cold one and bring the ice blight into play. Cool breeze.
Cool breeze makes me feel fine. So, Divot, the closest one to you that's still alive would be the one on Tynna, but you do have the movement to reach the two that fell from Brian and Brunor as well.
Okay. So let me finish off the one that's on Tynna.
Sweet. The frosty blade of cool breeze. You know, it's like a sword made of ice that just emanates this like frosty wave above it as you feel, you know, the magical power of it in your hand, gifted you by Glacius, the ice blight who you befriended. You feel the cold touch of it even in your bony fingers. Go ahead and give me a swing swang.
Swing, swing.
Swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So I do have to, like I said, they have all kinds of resistances. You'd think I'd just know them by this point. You look at them so many times. Okay, so he's resistant to your cold part of that damage, Divot. So he takes 2, because we are rounding down, we all agree. Plus 6, because your blade is magic, that's 8, and that is exactly how much life he has left. So Divot, what do you do?
All right, so not understanding exactly what these creatures are, but sensing about how close they are to death, I expertly exert a minimal amount of force to kill this guy with this fucking blade.
You swing no harder than you have to. You know, the blade, it strikes exactly where it needs to. And you kind of, as your blade, you know, strikes, you just kind of let it sit in the center of the body, and the cold ice of the sword freezes the shadow, and it just breaks into a bunch of little shadowy ice pieces.
Yeah, so I bust him off, and I'm like, we'll be all right.
We gonna be all right.
Chill out.
Dope. Awesome. David, what do you have? You have a bonus action still. You do have some of your move left as well, or you can pass the buck.
Yeah, so because I used an attack, I can use a spell for my bonus action.
Correct.
So I'm gonna cast Healing Word on myself because I do not have a lot of health.
You're like, we'll be all right, but just in case.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Divot, you stab yourself with a rapier for 7 damage. No! Roll 20, you live and die by the roll.
So me saying that we'll be all right was like one trying to like, you know, help calm everybody down, but also that was me casting this spell.
Yeah, your voice cracks just a little. You're like, we'll be all right. Dope. Nice. Little 8 points of healing. Max heal on that. Nice.
Sweet.
Actually, again, this is kind of a dope moment here. You've got the group around you. Go ahead and take the 6 additional healing from Tynna's Divine Radiance.
All right, don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah.
All right, David. Who are you passing it to?
Let's give it to Brunor.
Yay!
You're flying 10 feet in the air. You look down. You've seen Thoricus just slice and dice and Papaschetti his way through a crowd of these guys. The one that remains slashed, frozen to death by Divot. You know, you're like, man, we're doing pretty good. You look down. There's still the 2 splashy ones kind of on the ground looking up at you. One shaped like Brian, one shaped like you. What do you do?
So the one that's shaped like me, I'm gonna swing attack.
Dope. That's a hit. It is still alive. You know, Brian kind of like dips you down, and the cutting green blade of Angerel slashes through it. You see, because it is magical, the resistance doesn't apply, but it does have more health.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna hit you again.
We'll see about that.
See how much more alive we'll be in a few minutes. Haha!
Sorry, I'm just looking at my sock. Here we go. A little behind the screen here. There's something in my sock. It's crucial. You get advantage because there's something in my sock. No, I'm kidding. 28 AC, that hits. Brunor, what do you do to this thing that dared look like you?
So, it's not even that Brian dips me down and I like swing from Brian. I jump off of Brian and I swing downwards onto this like visage of me that isn't me. And like, how dare you? You know, like, chaw. So I take my blade and I swing it downwards. And then once I'm on my feet again, I give it a swing and I swing like neck and then give it a good choppy chop, baby.
I want to give you a little pepper to this moment here, Brunor. Between your first and second strikes, please allow me to pepper. Brunor, as you cut this first shadow, you look down on it, and you can't help, again, with this creeping crud of the Shadowfell, but remember the city of Elmira, taken over by a shadow dragon. Suddenly, you realize as you're slicing this thing down, the tremendous power of a shadow dragon. If a shadow dragon kills you with your breath weapon, this is exactly what you turn into. And so as you cut this one and you look down at this shadowy visage of yourself, you can't help but reflect upon another life. Like, had you been there, would you have died? Would you have been naught but a shadow? And you look down at like one potential future as you go to take the second strike. And then you feel that swell, whoosh, cut the head off, slice it away, taking control of your destiny in this moment, feeling the power, like the shadows of oh my gosh, I have too many axes right now. The shadow dragon, Exonius. The agents of Exonius would just melt at your fingers. So you're taking those steps toward that destiny that you have, a self-set destiny to destroy the shadow dragon Exonius. His armies now couldn't stand before you. So you cut this thing to life, severing that memory of your past in this moment, and the shadow dies.
Bitch.
You
Okay. I'm gonna. You know what? I want to shove this guy to the ground.
I think if...
Oh wait, no. Okay, no. I'm just gonna action surge and go after him too. Bing, bang, boom.
Dope. You look over at shadowy Brian. And you're like, not my boy. You dared attack my thick, wiggly boy.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna let it try. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, you just kind of turn and look at it. You don't even give it the. Some epic crits tonight, guys. These are all beautifully timed.
Oh yeah.
And it's all because we hate Bulbasaur.
That's right. In my mind, you're just decimating shadowy Bulbasaurs.
Was it weird for you, was the theme song different? Where it was like, fuck Bulbasaur, fuck Bulbasaur, fuck Bulbasaur. That's all I heard today. It was weird.
That's what I heard too. It was crazy.
We changed the lyrics. No, I'm kidding. Don't go back and look.
Sandy Stein, everybody.
Wow.
Anyway.
Bruno, that's 11 damage. It does, however, have more than that. So your second strike would be required.
Cool. Well, I'll give it a go. I got an 11.
That actually misses. Has a 12 AC.
Wow.
So, like Tynna, it's tough for you to lay the killing blow on something that so resembles someone you love so much. It's a little hard for you to plunge Angerel into the depths of the shadow. But Brian is thick and wiggly, and it's his turn.
Yeah, Brian doesn't take no jazz. He takes no guff, no gall. He is not about to hear about it, so he's gonna bite it. Hum.
Nom nom nom.
Oh, crit!
Whoa! Shit, crit!
Man, you guys. What? We had one last week. Oh, don't worry, folks. We're professional. Don't forget to hydrate, especially if you're playing along at home.
I already have to pack a new bowl. This is ridiculous.
This is that was the true treasure of the dragons. All right, so yeah, unfortunately, Brian, as much as he thinks he can, he has a similar problem. He opens his mouth to bite this shadow, and the shadow looks back at him, and it opens its mouth, and it just like blows Brian's mind. Like he's just like,
This is self, right? Yeah.
and he can't do
Wow.
it. So Brian passes it to Rial, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Rial.
Yep. Well, it's the last shadow left. I hate even attacking anything that remotely resembles Brian, but I'm the shadow piercer. I've got a job to do. So as I start haunching up, Scimitar the Rapier is ready, and let's swing.
Legit the shadow piercer.
Swing. True. Thanks to Ubaru, like, this guy knows. He can make a dope nickname.
Yeah.
And you got to... He's the shadow piercer. He gets advantage. Die mad about it. That's a crit. That's another crit. Holy crap. I don't even know where this lighter came from. Shit's wild tonight, guys.
The hits keep coming, folks.
Holy crap.
Insane.
Remember, crit sips, everybody. Hydration's very important.
Oh yeah.
Big water. Let's do some.
Come on, Big Water.
Big sunscreen too. Don't forget it.
Does anybody know if Big Water reads NPR? I'm asking for a friend.
I think Big Water is behind NPR, right?
Yeah.
The liberal agenda is just Big Water. By the way, I don't believe in the liberal agenda. I don't want to seem like I endorse that concept. That was just for the joke.
We don't believe in anything.
We believe in nothing, Lebowski. Nothing.
Oh, gosh.
You're nihilists. We fuck you up. God, I love Big Lebowski. All right, we have gone off the rails officially. Rial, give me actually, no, you did 11 damage. How does the Shadow Piercer end this shadow?
It's kind of a tougher one. Like I said, I know that's not Brian, but just seeing that thick, wiggly shadow. So I harken back to Buraka when we had our little wrestling match, catch the greased up dragon. So I pull a maneuver kind of like that and headlock myself behind him and just run him through. I don't want to look. Even if it's a shadowy face, I don't want to look. But
Yeah.
from
You're exceptionally good vision, as an elf. You close your eyes, you feel the mass of the shadow cold against your skin as you hold it close. It has that cold feeling of death to it. And you
Can I distract Brian while this is happening?
absolutely. What do you do to distract Brian?
shake your keys.
I take his little face and I give him like little snoot scritchies because I could tell like we both were like, that was real scary, huh? I know, really scary, yeah.
Yeah, you see he turns away just in time as Rial, almost like silently, like while you do it, he's like slides his hand, holds his mouth shut, just like a real crocodile. You can hold his mouth shut pretty easily. You just hold it shut. And then Rial, you feel the blade go through it, and you just feel the massive shadow dissolve away, and you're just holding your rapier there before you. The shadow has fallen and just turns into this kind of smoke and disappears. You look around. No more shadows.
No more shadows.
Wow, what the hell was that, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was
So
crazy. Is everybody okay? I think did we just hammer in that we probably should do some sort of
we can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That sounds like a great
let's-
plan.
Is there more on if we go and finish what we were doing?
So yeah, no, you guys, now the path across the bridge is unabated. You could also go south again. There is kind of these weird clouds of ash in that area. Since it's like you kind of walk over and investigate the bridge. The part that fell, but the rest of it seems pretty sturdy. You'd be able to use like the help action or guidance or whatever to safely get each other across. Bruno, you could even have Brian just like shuttle people over the gap if you're worried about falling in. But no, at this point, nothing. There's no extra shadows. The encounter is over. You guys are just kind of standing there. What just happened, and you're all kind of looking around. You see Thoricus. Again, there was that strange flash in his eyes that those of you with high perceptions noticed. But even, in this moment, you can tell he's just kind of tired. Looks like he needs a nap and a mole leg.
I mean, who doesn't need that, right?
You
Right.
killed a lot of things at like once, though.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, chaw, bro.
I mean, everyone else was connecting to their roots. I was just going back to I kill shit.
I mean, great, good, that was awesome.
Sometimes you just gotta rub it out.
All right, well, okay.
It's in the clip.
All right. Okay, Brian, let's start helping people across this bridge, buddy, brethren.
You proceed unfettered. There is no the trap element has already been discovered. You guys cross the bridge with ease. Feel free to move yourself across. As you guys walk upon this dragon skeleton frame, it hums with a magical energy. The dragon that you fought, Harnax, was in the timeline of dragons probably like a young adult, relatively still young compared to the age of dragons. A dragon of this size would be one of the more powerful beings in the world. This is the size of an ancient dragon, a great worm that lays before you, and there's almost a reverence that comes with being around something that magical. No arcana check needed. This thing buzzes with magical energy, and a magical energy that is so strong that as you approach the skeleton, you realize you step through one of those lamination layers as you cross the bridge. And you look back and you can actually see where the edge of that like Shadowfell impression is. And so when you walk into just this chamber, just this area where this like extremely powerful reverent skeleton lie, it would appear the Shadowfell permeation does not exist in this area. So Thoricus, your guide from Kultulmak, you would assume that this bounty, this ability, this kind of area is what he gave you in return for your 15 Underdark Platinum.
Oh yeah. So it's like a safe place.
You don't feel the strange danger that's around you. You don't feel that wisping cold. Even the smell of tar is strangely absent in this little pocket. You notice that the ground at your feet is set. You see the gilded gold plates, not quite as fractured and broken as they are in the other places. This was once even you recall from the memory, this was like a glorious haven of these dragons, almost like a big giant, harem, or, just pools and fountains of this noxious water that they love. And, yeah. And so, you do feel there's an inherent, lack of the dread of the rest of this place in this one little region where this magical skull rests.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, guys, I think this might be a good spot to maybe set up a little camp, a little nappy poo area. Did any of those shadow usses drop anything cool?
Unfortunately, they no possessions upon them. They just.
How about the ashes of them? Were we able to scoop up any of that I could potentially look into research-wise?
Absolutely. Thoricus, give me just like how something you're not particularly trained in. Give me like a survival check, and it'll just be like how well you're able to distinguish shadow from dirt.
23.
Awesome. Yes.
Oh.
Again, Thoricus, you need look no farther than the blade of your own axe. You have like you've literally just like viscera of these shadowy beings all over the sharper points of your blade as you slaughtered the bulk of them. And so rather than like scooping up off the ground and mixing it with the stone, you just kind of scoop it up. You know what's your axe and what's not, and you get a perfect sample of that. So write that in your inventory, a sample of shadow. That's you guys could investigate that. You could show it to somebody who might be able to look at. You know what I mean? Like that's something that could be useful later on.
I was like, how do I? It's been so long since I've actually had to add anything to it. I didn't even remember how to get back to it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I keep saying we're gonna transfer over to the D&D Beyond plugin, and I just keep lying to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you at home. I'm just a big liar. We will do it, but for right now, you guys are still in the Roll20 character sheets. So yeah, you get the vial of the blackness. So if you guys want to set up a short rest here, because of this aura around you, in this place, again, kind of like a bounty that was granted Thoricus for a cost 150 gold. You get a little safe short rest here, so you can use your hit dice, and remember those are like a resource. So when you use them, you have less. The next time you long rest, you only get half of those back. So just keep in mind how many you use. Divot, you get your spell slots back because your warlock spell slots back, not your bard ones. And our action surges are all back. And yeah, feel free to go ahead and pump yourselves up hit points. At this point, you guys are kind of standing in this a reverent place, feeling the magic once more, after a journey through a mountain, destroying a crystal that links to the Feywild, now by this beating black heart that leads to the Shadowfell. The epic nature of every step that you take through this world, not lost upon the five of you at all. And you can use more than one hit dice, just so you know as well. Feel free to just take care of this on your end. I'm just kind of setting the scene for you. You can't help but look beyond the lamination of this Shadowfell wall. Yeah, there you go. Rolling hot there. A couple good ones.
Crits.
Nice.
So yeah, you just kind of like look, and again, like you have all mentioned it. It's like this place is so evil. Like it's every stone, it's every gust of wind feels like an ancient whisper of some long lost soul, and it's like it's so evil everywhere that it's like you get a little jaded by it until you can step out of it and look back in, and it's like, where the hell have you five found yourself yet again? Just this long legacy that leads you now to this moment. Many new truths upon you now learned in this past couple days, secrets and the like. Divot, you with no memory of Martha ever existing. Rial, you no memory of your mother at all. Quite changed since your last rest, but go ahead, have you a short rest.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, this place feels so evil, yet we were in the Feywild and everything there was trying to murder us too. So like, where are we supposed to be? Like,
Yeah, it's like we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. Especially if like Queen Mab and her sister are both working to mess with this world. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm still messed up about the Sir Curie part of it. Like, he seemed like a noble fellow.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning.
But Glacius was so nice.
Well, after Divot kicked the shit out of him.
Oh, that's for true.
That is true.
He whooped that boy's ass.
Yes,
Oh,
I would be remiss if not to mention, you have, in your contact with Sir Curie, you did feel him to be a good man. A rabbit man with nice teeth. But nevertheless, in the moments that you fought with him, the battle, the moment, you saw him sacrifice much of his body in that battle. He did help you escape. So again, I just want to clarify that it's like you weren't deceived. Like you did meet this man, and so it does throw some of the things that feel a little more concrete into question.
Maybe he doesn't even know his leader's intent. I mean,
Yeah.
he seemed like he had a good judge of character to me. But maybe he just doesn't even know what's going on behind the scenes right now.
Glacius kind of felt the same way, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and if they are kind of like a reflection of each other, it's easy to assume that
Yeah.
things are going on both sides.
Right.
But Sisyphus is on Queen Mab's side, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
So at least as far as we know, right? So that's something that we have to look out for.
Well, yeah, like, Divot, do you feel anything weird in this place? Like is there one of those acorn thingies of suspicious?
Yeah, do I sense anything other than Rial in the vicinity?
Yeah, you always have to turn Rial down first. You're like, yeah, I hear this heartbeat. It's driving me crazy. Oh, but not Rial? Yeah, one sec. Divot, you can't help but hear the sludging heartbeat of the black heart of the mountain. But let me be very clear. It is not the beat of synthesis within this black. So yes, you do absolutely hear another heartbeat, but it's, you know, just that magical black heart that's pumping away over there that you saw before. But yes, you do not get, although this is definitely extremely evil, and you know, I don't need to explain that to you guys, you've experienced it. This does not reek of some kind of synthesis thing, you know.
Can I see the black heart?
From where you're at, sure.
Okay. So I'd like to spend my short rest kind of like staring at it, trying to figure out what its deal is.
Okay. Oh, I like this, Divot. So yeah, you know, again, being a warlock, you kind of have to get these your short rest spells back. There is like a gateway that must be opened between you and death for that power to flow back into you. And although you haven't really spoken with death in quite a while, you know, him bestowing your new gifts, your level up and all of that, you know that you're still at least in his graces. You know, again, you know he witnessed your battle with Glacius in the void. You know, you felt that sense of pride from that, you know, acorn that resonates within you. And so in that opening that gateway, you know, you look upon this black heart, you know, and it seems like the most necrotic thing you've ever seen. But yet, strangely, you can't help but notice the strange green stains all around it, the glowing green light that permeates through the cracks of the black skin. And you absolutely can identify that this is, you know, the Feywild magic within this darkness. This is some kind of fusion of Shadowfell magic and Feywild magic that you have never even heard of. The two are polar opposites. The land of fairies and the land of shadows are quite literally the opposite of each other. They should not be able to intersect, particularly through the material plane. So it's like somehow this heart and its existence says that there is now, maybe here in this area or what, but this thing is connecting in one moment 3 planes of existence. That island, the green island around it, is the soft green glowing magical grass of the Feywild. The black tendrils that reach out from the heart itself, you know, the life-leeching veins of the Shadowfell. But the heart itself is of the material plane. So this thing exists in basically 3 dimensions at the same time.
Damn.
Wow.
Can't believe. Wow.
Yeah. So we did talk about a nap, and I just want to make sure that will be a thing that's happening. But I do want to ask. I don't know how long we're going to stay here and what we got to do, but this is primo dragon bone stuff here, and we got Krampus' sack. So if I can break down some teeth and horns and bones and vertebrae and wing things, I'm just gonna stuff that motherfucker till it can't hold no more, and then we'll just, I mean, that'll be my rest. That makes my mind.
You know, you look down upon this like magnificent, like reverent, holy sight. You know, there are draconian mages that would give their firstborn just to stand in the same room as these bones. And you look down on him and you're like, man, that'd be a good sword handle. That would be really great for. And you just proceed to chop this ancient dragon skeleton into pieces.
Oh yeah.
It is massive. This actually okay, I honestly think you could get the skull and not the spine, and that your bag of holding would be about tapped out. Like a bag of holding is about the size of like a big closet. And
But
so
this is Krampus' sack.
it is Krampus. I'll give you like an extra size boon on that. So it's like it's more like a giant master bedroom in there.
Yeah, Krampus is a big sack. For sure.
But you know, Krampus' sack,
Huge.
very large, huge sack,
Yeah.
well known. Read the myth
Yeah.
again. But yes, you can. Here's what I'm going to give you, Thoricus. That is worth using in a smith's capacity. You get 10 pristine great worm dragon teeth.
God, how do I get to my page? I'm so sorry. I should just have like paper or something, but
So if you go to your character sheet, it's actually on your core page, down here where your stuff is. You just have to hit that little plus sign, and it'll add it. Down here, kind of where it says your total weight.
Oh.
There's a little plus. Whenever you hit that plus, it'll add a spot, and then you just type in what the thing is in that spot.
Okay. So 10 what?
10 pristine great worm dragon teeth.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
nice.
You also get 2 pristine great worm dragon horns.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sorry. I didn't bring my readers. Oh god. I can't even see this, right? There we go. What was it? 2 pristine?
Great worm dragon horns.
Heard.
And then take 1 great dragon pristine spinal cord.
Damn. Ooh.
Sub-Zero'd his ass. Just take it all.
Dragon, spinal. All right, there we go. 1 great dragon spinal cord thing.
Boom.
Yeah.
So that's like the stuff. Like, yeah, there's a lot of bone and everything, but like the you're like, I can use this for something. You know, it's like each one of these things. You're like, they have specific cool things that you can do with them. You know, if you take a little downtime, you do some blacksmithing next.
Oh yeah, I'm planning to go back to Emerald and do some blacksmithing. You feel me?
Wayo.
Mm.
Get to banging that hammer.
Firing up that forge.
Fighters, remember you get action surges back. Any of your class powers that come back on a short rest, you all get. Just remember to track your hit dice that you've used in this moment. And you guys got anything else that you would like to cover during this short rest? You have an hour. You can take a nap within that time frame, but feel free to discuss anything that you would like as well.
Oh, okay. Unless nobody else wants it, would everyone be cool if I attuned to the bracers we got?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah, good for it.
Get it.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yes, the bracers of archery. You know, your magical gift from Harnax. Remember, it has kind of like an omen on it in the sense that like you knew of the guy who was supposed to have these, and he went missing just a few miles from here, and so you're like, man, Harnax like took that dude out.
He was a prince, right?
He was an elven prince. Yes, you know the bracers of archery are pretty well known within Elvish lore. You know, guys are famous archers. And so these bracers, said to be touched by Corlon Lotharian himself, grant you extra damage with your bow, which is just so sweet for you.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm gonna take my cut of like his coin that we got, like that, all the fucking money we got from Harnax. I promised Boxo he'd get that.
That's true.
Hey.
Yeah, but you're like, I never said anything about bracers.
They wouldn't even fit. They wouldn't fit him.
You give him 1, and it's like you just get +1 damage instead of 2 because you're only wearing 1 of them.
Oh, friendship bracers.
Oh,
Friendship bracers.
I love it.
I'll never forget you.
Oh.
All right. So dope. Yes, I know it's still on the map because I just like it, and I'm gonna put a couple. You know what? You know what it's time for.
Don't hit me with them. Come on.
Oh my god, it's square.
Yeah, you cut some glorious squares out of this thing, Thoricus, but specifically the horn rectangle. I'm gonna put a couple little teeth squares there. That's all gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are all gone. That's the 10 teeth. The spine here, the spine's all squared up.
Damn.
Look at them squares.
Wait. It's scoliosis.
Oh my gosh, look at all them squares.
It's all jacked up.
Oh my gosh.
My square
Wait,
workshop.
the eye can see.
Was one 10 squares ago. All right. I'm drawing squares everywhere. All right. So the damage of the squares of Thoricus Onyxheart imbued upon this ancient dragon's skeleton as you wear the skin of its ancestor, more than likely. You notice, after your short rest is done, Thoricus, as you kind of splinter this thing up and you wake up from your nap and finish off the rest of your work. Now that this thing's gone, so too is the safety barrier. All of a sudden you watch as like the lamination around you guys kind of like closes in now that the aura of magic, from these items that you've now stamped and put in the bag of Krampus, as you stuff them in there, the kind of magic energy that holds this little like protection bubble there ceases. And you watch as kind of the black stone earth starts leaching the white color out of what remains of the skull as the layer of the Shadowfell kind of lays over top of this dragon skull.
Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah. I knew those parts were gonna come in handy because they repel this shit. See?
Hey, yeah. Forever. I mean, yeah, an extremely trained blacksmith, Thoricus. You're used to using all the parts of the animal. And so yeah, you successfully got those pieces, Thoricus. Do you remember that? Anytime you have like a downtime blacksmithing thing, you and I can work out some cool stuff with what those will do. And then yeah, so you guys are kind of sitting there looking down from your area now that you're back, and like you feel that creeping dread of the Shadowfell kind of wash over your skin as that little protective bubble disappears. You are all rested. You feel much better, prepared for what may lie below. And you kind of look off and you see your two destinations. Divot, with your robe of eyes and your ability to see so far in the darkness, you make out there is a bridge right near the edge of your vision to your south that crosses over toward where the dark heart beats, in that little island there. You kind of like look around, you see the gilded golden leaf floors, cracked area, the large river of this black tar that separates you and it now. There is a bridge to the south that crosses over that way. And you also are privy to this strange glowing green light that kind of emanates from the southwest corridor, the same direction that the finger of Aranastus had pointed and had also been referred to as the destination of the trials. So, as you guys kind of like put all your bags back together and, snack down the rest of your mole eggs, that's what you see before you. Let me go ahead and just kind of reveal this whole area.
Well, I definitely want to let the group know that I sense the trials.
Boom.
Oh, hell yeah. Huh.
Is that like a class we gotta sign up for?
Yeah, again, you guys are in now that the Shadowfell is laid back upon you, you are back in complete darkness. Divot, you can fire up your light ring again. That is a cantrip. But again, Divot sees a lot of this stuff that you guys don't. You do see the faint green glow of the heart. It's hard to ignore, piercing through the shadow, this strange black and green glow of energy. But Divot, you can kind of make out, what you see here before you. The large kind of river of lake of tar in the middle, surrounded by those bushes of strange Shadowfell brush that Rial had set ablaze. And then you also, like I said, you see this like glowing green light emanating from the southwest of the whole chamber.
All right. Cool. Y'all got that?
Tight.
There is a glowworm to the southwest.
Well, we've come this far, friends.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, let's go get the glowies.
Mm-hmm. Let's go get the gluey.
All right, so you guys kind of continue south here, and you see the kind of fallen and broken rubble of like these strange pillars that used to be around here. This was once a decadent, kind of swimming area for these great dragons to bask in their greatness as kobolds served at their feet. But you see basically just the broken stone remnants of a time before. Thoricus, as you kind of like get near those plants, you're wise enough, you've seen a lot of life-eating plants. They don't reach at you like the Feywild ones do, but you find that it's hard to breathe around them a little bit. Go ahead and give me a Constitution save. You feel as the kind of ash that comes off of them, you kind of start coughing, you feel like a little bit of dust in your throat.
No. Well,
I mean,
nothing.
Holy crap! Is it Christmas, guys? It's Christmas. Christmas again. We start talking about
Christmas.
Is it half Christmas?
Sauce.
Ooh, it's Christmas later. Can I have another crit?
Please, sir. Apparently you can. Man. People, it's funny, people like say this is like a common complaint about Roll20. They're just like, yeah, it's like all 20s are ones, and it's like, I'm usually like, no, there's a fair amount of, but like tonight, I'm like, maybe they're onto that.
Behind that.
Man, this is a lot of, I'm just scrolling up, it's all red and green, baby, which is great for us.
Merry Christmas.
I'm having a
Yay,
great time.
Christmas.
I feel great. All right, so yes, Thoricus, with your massive constitution, you again, hill dwarf, you've spent a lot of times in the mountains and stuff, and dust ain't nothing to slow down old Papa Sketty. And you kind of cough out. You see there's a little bit of black ash in your throat. You do notice that it seems like after seeing that effect, you look back where Rial had like lit that cloud of it. You think walking through the clouds of this stuff might be even a little harder. That it that there might be some kind of negative effect to that after having now just breathed like a little of the faint mist around these plants.
Okay, should I like run back around and be like, oh shit, I'm going the wrong way?
Yeah, totally. You're like, guys,
Sorry,
don't.
guys. I didn't realize
Lighters
that
up.
you guys went that way.
Lighters up.
Lighters.
All right, so at this point, as you walk beyond the broken corridors of this once great area, you kind of find yourselves coming upon a crossroads where even those of you who cannot see in darkness can see this pulsating green light. You see the river of the black tar pools at the base of these steps, but does not continue down, which is clearly a magical effect because it's like it should pour down these steps and continue below. The stone steps, they seem ancient and carved. They go down. The green energy that glows from within, different than this fey energy that permeates from the black beating heart. What from everything you've known, the trials, the trials of the Dragon Zulithax would be down that direction. Rial, you kind of hit the crossroad where you see that pooling bit of tar, and you look around the corner. You two are privy to this bridge here that goes across. So just to clarify, you guys, to your south, you have this like lake of black tar and a bunch of crumbled stone around this staircase that seems to go down even deeper into these dens. The black tar does not seem to go any farther than those steps. And to your east, there is a carved stone bridge that separates the gap between the east and west side of this fractured, broken ground.
Okay.
All right, so there's a choice to be made. We either go look at the heart, or we go down in the place where it doesn't look like this darkness can follow. But that would probably mean the Feywild, right? I mean, I'm not a plane scientist, but
No expert.
Well, it didn't go very well the last time we went over a bridge.
It was super cool, though.
I mean, I think I was the only one on that bridge, wasn't I?
Yeah, you handled it well.
Very good job. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Like we said, it did look really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That he saw.
Well, let's go do what we came here to do and get one of these trials.
Let's sign up for the class.
Let's do it. For this tech class that we're doing.
Yeah.
At the Y.
We're here to take Survival 101.
All right, so you step around. You're cautious enough. I see by your movements. Nicely done. You don't just step into the lake of life-leeching black tar. You kind of step along the nice stone path to the edge of it, and then whoop, slip onto the stone steps. Thoricus, your feet when you touch these stones, just the stone reaver in you. There is a quality to this stone. Exactly. Yeah, the reverence that you did not have for the dragon. It's all here for this stone. I mean, it's to a layman, to the rest of you guys, it appears almost no different than the rest of these stone structures. But the ancient hue nature of these stones, Thoricus, it's like stepping on, a holy site as you step in. You also notice as you break the seal of this first stair and you feel that glow, that green glow wash over your body, you again step through a layer of that lamentation, and you step out of the Shadowfell. Your assumption was correct, Thoricus. It appears the shadow of this layer here cannot reach into you.
Damn.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of like start walking. You know, Brian's a little thick and wiggly, so it's a little tough for him to kind of walk around the stone, but he manages it.
He does a good like woof, like little gusty gust,
Yes.
then just like put himself. Yeah.
You know, you hear us. He's very thick and heavy. You know, again, dragons and so too crocodiles by nature. It is not necessarily just the strength of his wings that allows him to fly, but the magic inherent in the creature itself. And so, yes, you hear it with a great thud as his big wiggly body lands on the stone stairs and plops down. You guys look before and you see this long descending hallway. You know, it's like the ground kind of goes down at like a 25-degree pitch, so steep eventually that, you know, the stone corridor before you continues, but your vision, you know, of it is cut off by the slope of the room before you. As you all kind of step into this stone stairway, there's enough room for you guys to kind of stand two in number. So, you know, I'm just kind of going by your casual marching order you usually use. And, you know, Thoricus and Bruno, you're kind of standing there looking down. And you hear the voice of Aeronastus, like a breeze of the stone-stored corridor.
Do you accept the challenge of the body?
You feel a drawing wind as his great breath draws back through the corridor.
To go forward is to risk your life for power and treasure and the knowledge of Cadenax, son of Zulithax.
Wait, didn't we just go through the first trial, the shadow things? I thought that was...
No, man, Zulithax, Kalithax, and this guy has two
Okay.
axes. Let's go.
Shadowfax.
Yeah, their bloodline has a thing. Harnax, Cadenax,
Cinemax.
Zulithax.
Kalithax, come on.
Shitty
Carfax.
All the
Yeah.
guys in my name
Yeah.
have Alan as a middle name. It's like that.
Thumbtack.
Mhm.
I'm just
Let's
Axe,
get
bro.
this show on the road. Let's do it.
I
Yeah.
accept the challenge.
Cha.
Yeah.
Cha.
All right, you say
Cha.
Tynna
Cha.
as you say it.
Cha.
And the chaws start echoing down the canyon. You hear the words, I accept the challenge. And suddenly this long dark corridor, you see all these candelabras along the side of the wall start illuminating with green flame in them, lighting the path. These green dots of magical flame that now light the pathway down for you. You hear Aramas's voice.
So be it. Let your challenge begin.
And suddenly you're all staring down this hallway, and each of you has this strange, like the room kind of like shifts. And Thoricus, you're like standing and you kind of look to your right, and you watch as Rial goes and just shifts through the wall. And you can see almost like glass walls between you and another replica of this same hallway. So you see Rial standing in a long stone hallway with this 25-degree pitch that leads down. You know, you kind of look at your hands. Rial looks over at you. Thoricus, you shift and look to your left. And you watch as Bruno shifts through the wall. She now standing in her own hallway, the same, 25-degree pitch going down. But you can all kind of see each other, lined up next to each other in these hallways. You look behind you and you watch us, both Tynna and Divot at the same time, shift away in opposite directions and land in the farthest away hallways of their own. All five of you are now standing in a long pitched hallway. The walls constrict a little bit, maybe 10 feet wide. And at each of your feet, as you stand at the northernmost tip of this ramp downward, you see these magic runes start drawing themselves in blue magic upon the floor.
This will work itself out.
Sorry, I'm dropping you guys over in here. So, I think I got my order wrong. It's not really I got Thoricus correct. So we'll go with whatever's on the map is fine. Brunor, you notice Brian also fades through the wall, but you don't see what happens to him.
No.
So you just like, I have him on the map just so that I can, use him as a figure, but don't, he disappears from this. And suddenly you all, and I'm sorry, I put you on the steps, not on the platform. You're all standing on this purple magic rune that leads down this big long hallway with these green firelit candelabras all the way down. You see they lead, probably 150 feet away from you. Is another, you can see just this glowing essence of almost the same color and magic rune that you stand on now. What do you do?
All right, so we're clearly separated, but I mean, at least can we hear each other? Like,
Yeah. Can we?
You and Rial can hear each other. Other than that, it's almost like if you were like outside of like a store and somebody was on the other side of the glass, like.
How far away is how long is the hallway?
150 feet, I believe. I'm sorry, I don't know if it came out to exactly that, but that's what I believe I designed it to be.
Okay.
Where's my ruler? I'll tell you based on what the actual map is. I should have that answer more readily available. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
candelabras, and was like, this look more like candelabras.
Alright.
I think.
Yeah. It's about
I think we can stand up for it.
it's about 150 feet. So we can kind of start at the top of the order here. I am gonna switch. No, Thoricus was right. Divot, let's go ahead and go with you. Divot, you're standing on this strange purple and blue magic rune. You see the candelabra's green magic fire kind of leading down. You see a couple traces of crushed bones, like powdered bone, on the ground in front of you. It's kind of odd, but what do you do, Divot? You look behind you. The door, there's like the walkway that you had come through is now sealed, and you really have very few options.
Okay. Well, taking careful, recognition of my surroundings, I want to slowly start moving through the corridor, I guess.
All right, so go ahead and just move up your movement there, Divot. This is a little wider than I described, but yeah, that's the room itself is about 15 feet wide. So I know it doesn't line up perfectly to the grid. Feel free to just kind of move yourself as your actual move along this path.
Okay, I'm not sure how far I could go proportionally.
Every square is 5 feet, so it breaks out exactly to the distance. So if you move 30 feet, then you would move 6 squares.
So was that about right?
Yeah, that seems about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's cool. You at this point, Divot, you notice, you kind of like walk over and you look down on the ground, and you see there's like an entire skeleton has been crushed into powder. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check, Divot.
Okay.
There's magic energy all around you. Perhaps you could devise what happened to this strange skeleton. Well, what was a skeleton? Now it's more powdered. Divot, this skeleton was not crushed by magic, but by an actual physical crushing. There was no magical element that led to the powdering of this skeleton. Do you want to? You can use your action in this case, Divot. You can either move more, or if there was anything you wanted to do with your actual action itself, you have the opportunity in this moment. And Rial, you'll be on deck.
So I would still theoretically have a bonus action even if I move more.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I'll move more.
All right, sweet. So you pass past these first 3 candelabras. You kind of move up again past a 4th. You're looking on the ground, and you just see it's like at the center point of this like 15-foot area around you. The ground in the middle seems a little bit more worn. So what would you like to do with your bonus action?
Nothing.
All right, sweet.
That was just so that I knew.
All right, perfect. And then, so yeah, Rial, what's up? You're standing on this magical runes. You look down again. You can tell this is there is a magical energy going on underneath your feet. And you also notice a little bit of bone dust, probably about 25 feet ahead of you on the ground.
Actually, well, yeah. I see Divot moving. So we can see each other. We just can't like hear each other at this point. And like these weird duplicate hallways. Okay. So there's my 30, and to kind of keep pace, I will pop a dash out there too. So
yeah, you're very perceptive as well, Rial. You notice, the some of these features as well. The bone dust doesn't quite, that doesn't strike you quite as much as it does. You think of it maybe perhaps a pile of ash or dirt on the ground. But as you move along, you too are privy to this like strange groove along the central path, along this strange and long hallway. The air feels thick. There's a tension in the air. This trial, whatever it is, there is like a risk to your life involved. You don't know necessarily like, is this the trial? Is this the road to the trial? Like, and so the hair on the back of your neck is standing up. But as you move forward, nothing occurs. Do you have anything else you want to do on your turn?
I don't want to attack nothing. I will just ready son of a birch in case something spoopy pops out at me. I don't know. Just have the bow at the ready, but
yeah, you're just kind of like whoever scares me is getting this bow. Perfect. Papa Sketty, you're up. Thoricus, you're standing. You don't really like standing on magic runes, Thoricus, compared to this beautiful stone-hewn ground that you're, just like, oh man, this is really good. So yeah, you stand in the same long hallway. You see Rial and Divot kind of moving forward, and there's each of them kind of investigating the ground as they go. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna just fucking Leroy Jenkins, baby. Let's get it. I'm just gonna run it out. I was running. So yeah, I can battle alacrity, right?
Yeah, in this case you could battle alacrity.
And that'll get me 5 squares.
5 more squares. And then you could use your action again to move.
And then I could use my action to move, and then I could move again, because... Is that right?
Correct. You would have 1 more move. So battle alacrity gives you a full movement speed. Your move gives you a full movement speed, and then your action, even though you move slower than everybody else, you actually make it to the front of the race. You would blow past. You'd be at 75 feet. You're again. I know my squares and all this math doesn't necessarily work out, but don't worry, it's not that.
Oh, well, that's halfway.
But that's good. Yeah, you're just a little past. Yeah, and you're passing some of the faster fellas. You see the burst of the quick strike blade giving the battle alacrity that boost of speed. Little feet go, and you're kind of like using the groove in the middle of the ground, Thoricus, to like move faster. You skirt along. Yeah. Tynna, you're standing here. You look down. You're a little more okay standing on magical runes, but you look down. There is a magical rune at your feet, glowing in this purple and blue magic. These green lights that illuminate the pathway before you. What do you do?
Well, first, do I recognize this rune? Does it mean anything to me?
Give me a religion check, Tynna.
Yeah. Who knows? Oh my gosh, my cat just jumped up on my desk.
That's such a cat time to do it, too. It's like, now? Is it inconvenient now? Why are you
yeah. Right now? Oh,
but is it Clyde?
Yeah, it's Claude. It's Claude. Yeah, she's being a cute little baby.
She's being Claude.
Okay, a 23 though.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Okay, Tynna, unlike your allies, you are keenly aware that this is a test. That the room you're in right now, this scenario, you kind of look around and you see your allies all moving down the same hallway, and where they're still kind of unsure as to what this thing is. You look and you're like, this is it. You feel there is an expectation of a powerful energy that permeates the walls in this place, and so in this moment you look down at the runes at your feet, and they're glowing, and Tynna, there is a magical effect being permeated from these runes somehow. There is some sort of magic is being cast from them.
Okay, yeah. So I take that in, and I recognize that this is a heavier scenario. I mean, we all know that we're walking into the trials, but I feel keenly aware that I'm being tested currently. And then, so I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna dash,
Yeah.
so I can move as far as I can, as quick as I can.
So you and Thoricus both suffer from tiny feet syndrome.
Yeah.
Now he has battle alacrity, so he gets a little bit farther. You get to go 50 feet, so it'd be 10 squares. Tynna, you rather than you do use your dash action, but you kind of move forward with purpose. Again, you're more eager to be tested than most people would be. At this point, you're starting to feel this, like, what being a high level divine spellcaster is all about. Basically you banished and turned those 2 bone dragons, and so it's like you're, with the acknowledgement of this holiness, you feel like, yes, you're ready to answer the warrior's call of this challenge, and you're like, bring on the challenge. Like, I'm ready to prove my testimony.
Yeah, I feel like a sense of responsibility. I am the one who screamed what did I say a second ago? Yeah, let's bring on the challenge.
Yes, I accept the trial or whatever.
I do feel a weighty
I volunteer
sense
as
of
tribute.
responsibility. I volunteer as tribute. That's what I said. Yeah, and I just sort of step forward with that energy, but also that blind faith that I feel protected by Shantia.
The most optimistic use of the term blind faith I've ever heard, and I totally vibe with it, actually. Yes, you're just like, I'm ready to be tested, bring this test on. You walk forward with purpose. Brunor, you see now, Thoricus just starts running. He's got the burst of his magical blade. Rial running 10. You see closest to you, Tynna, just like filled with purpose, walking shoulders high, her small halfling frame, being lit by these green magical fires along the hallway. What do you do?
I too just start. I see my friends kind of making their way, and I go, well, all right, let's do it. And I start. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna go for a jog.
You're like so used to riding Brian, you're like, ugh.
I have the same speed, but look.
Yeah, exactly. It's just nicer. You fly. He's thick. All right, so yeah, you'd make it about 10 feet past Tynna there, so probably right around this third area of lights.
Wow.
Brunor, you feel the maiden's bort, the shield at your side. Again, kind of a call to purpose after slaying that shadow, feeling a little closer to your endpoint destiny. Knowing that your path at Exonius will cross, and you seek to defend your hometown, your homeland. And as you kind of run forward, it's like you kind of look over and you see, each of these long 5 hallways with glass-like walls that you can see through. You see each person kind of having their own experiences. Thoricus is running, axe at the ready, like prepared to take this on. If you were thinking of a challenge of body, you would probably vote for Thoricus to go first. You see Divot cautiously walking along, looking at this powdered bone, the green light lighting each of your faces. And then you watch kind of as all 5 of you simultaneously react at the same time. You hear this. And you look up above you, and you see summoned from these portals these giant magic boulders summon, and they start rolling forward. Suddenly you hear this, and you see a gust of wind summon up behind the boulders and push them down. They all start hurtling at all 5 of you at the same time. And that's where we're gonna pick it up next time, guys.
Oh my gosh. And the bitch. Oh.
Wowzers.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
Woo!
That's good shit.
Man, I love playing D&D with you guys.
Wow.
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 Give them a wow. Give it to them. They want it.
Oh.
All right, guys. Dude, mad love to this wonderful cast. Holy crap, you guys. I love playing D&D with you. That is no lie. You guys, that was just such a fun game. Thanks for making it such a treat. to run a game with you guys, and it's such a joy. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, having a good time, chilling in chat, being amazing, hanging out at the spots. Join the Discord, come hang out, freaking let's be best buds. I love everything about this project. I love every person that has given so much to it, and man, I just love doing this, and I can't wait to keep bringing it to you bigger and better every single week, guys. I love you guys. I love this so much. We do have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a little lighter, like this In Pizza We Crust guy that I still have, amazingly. Make sure we're not gonna light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go lighters up. Thanks for playing some of that good D&D with us, guys. We fucking love you. Come hang out tomorrow at Blackwater. We're gonna be doing some weird shit.
Do it.
Love you, bud.
Fuck, that was dope.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.